Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Trader TV Live. All four major averages starting the morning off in negative territory. Not by that much. The NQ down a third, likewise with the ES here down a quarter. The Dow floating around that half a percentage point with the Russell 2000, the worst of the bunch, down 0.8, almost 1%. But there's green there. That is Bitcoin above a key technical level of 94,250, floating around that 94,500. We'll keep an eye out on that. Lots to talk about today. There were a lot of earnings reports yesterday. Google, Intel coming in, as well as Skechers, T-Mobile, and others, and more information out of China. More saga out of China.
So much information. So at first here, we come in today and we find out we had the Time magazine interview with Trump, where he, when asked if he spoke to Xi or if Xi called him, he flat out says, yep. So that implies, of course, that President Xi called him. A couple minutes ago, China's embassy releases a statement. They said that the United States and China have not had any talks about tariffs at all, and that the U.S. should, quote, stop creating confusion. Furthermore, we know yesterday as well, during the day, Trump said that his team would talk to China that morning. So China basically continuously denying all of these claims that keep coming out of the U.S.
Yeah, the soap opera continues, guys, as we figure out exactly where we're going to end off with tariffs. A deal is going to get made. A deal is not going to get made. We'll keep an eye on that. Google did very well yesterday. I'm sure the boys will look at that. Intel beating on the top and bottom line. However, that guide was a little light and is down here, high single digits to start the morning. Apple also in focus today as they are looking basically at shipping all their U.S. destination iPhones from India as opposed to China. Looking at getting that under control. And SMCI initiated coverage today by, I believe, I think it was, who was it there, that initiated coverage on Citigroup. So we'll keep an eye on that. It had a very strong day yesterday. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Super strong day, actually. A lot of things had super strong days yesterday, including a really strong day.
Oh. Come on, man. We need more super chats. Fix this guy's mic up. I actually just heard in my ear that news about China was actually from yesterday. So we'll have to wait to see if that's true. For some reason, just getting reposted now about China not talking, not phoning United States. All right, Apple, the TQs. Yeah, welcome back, everybody. Great draft there yesterday. Shout out to the Green Bay Packers and the fans of Green Bay. I think that was really cool. It's nice. I was always thinking it'd be cool to walk out and you see Lambeau in the background there. It was well done, and I thought the draft went really well. And then Jacksonville, I don't know, man. What they wound up paying to get Travis Hunter seems to be unrealistic, but there was some sort of a draft.
Made a splash.
Yeah, they said that it was the biggest fleecing of all time, but I don't know if that's true. That was somebody posted that because they gave up the 5th pick, next year's first-round pick, a second-round pick, and something else to move up 3 spots.
It's the best thing the Browns have done in a long time.
Yeah, they're going to get Sanders today. It looks like that over-under, I guess we should have. It was over under 21 and a half because he was supposed to go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that should have been bet, but
I didn't know that. And then Jackson Dart got took.
Man. Good on Cleveland.
Yeah.
I knew Jackson Dart someone was going to trade in to get Jackson Dart because
they went to 25 there. He took.
And I think you guys got a fantastic receiver.
Yeah.
Green Bay should be laughing.
Our offense should be good.
I think he's the best receiver in the draft. So
yeah, let's hope so. The other guy went to Carolina there. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but that guy went there.
Victoria McMillan.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, he went there 8th pick or something like that. So,
big boy.
And then the Maple Leafs, of course, another OT winner. But it just shows you like how sensitive and how close the NHL playoffs are. That's 2 games in overtime, and now you're up 3-0. It's just like we could easily be down 2-1, and it's just, it's so wild. And I was watching it with 2 minutes into overtime. The whole crowd in Ottawa was going absolutely insane. They win the face-off goal. It was just like, what?
It was so fast.
Yeah.
I'm like, can I see the replay, please?
It was great.
I didn't see that.
Go Leafs, go Packer
Which is the best.
Nation.
Like, everyone that you're just celebrating, and you don't even. It was like the Joe Carter home run. I never saw the puck go into the net until we got the replay.
Right.
But we'll take it 10 times.
I thought it was tipped, but it wasn't, I guess.
Well,
maybe, I don't know. I guess it tipped off somebody. And then you guys got a safety. I don't know enough about that guy, Malik something, but.
We got a corner. Look.
No, it was a safety, I thought it was. Oh, it was a corner? Oh, it was a corner? Okay, yeah.
Well, he'll start.
Who knows where they'll play,
I think he'll start outside. But the Bills got what they needed, so I'm in a good mood. Look, the Nasdaq's down. It's a weird one, right? Like the market's down when Google had a great report, and they've been selling it all morning, like very slowly selling it off. Because there was a moment where that little bet who was going to move more between Alphabet and Intel was actually a push. For most of the morning, it was a push, and then Google's pulled back, and Intel's essentially holding the low. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Google
Intel
is
ends up
pulling back, isn't it? Was it
Intel ends up
169?
moving more.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it was almost breaking the 170. It kind of felt like we were going to make a run at this high, 171. A little different. So, we're got to look for maybe dip opportunities. Just changes the litmus a little bit. But I love the fact they reiterated their spend. The data center, they're going to keep the AI push going. That's good for the chips. That's good for NVIDIA. And advertising, not as big of a red flag as some people might have feared.
All right, yeah, and Intel down here, sub $20 again. I'll be looking to see a breakdown even lower than that. We're going to have Michael Noss coming through, Brendan with the day off, so we thank Adara for taking out on the desk. We'll look at some Chinese names. Look, man, it's Friday. I mean, the market has been an absolute monster here on the daily, right? I mean, we've had quite a huge run in the NASDAQ over the last week. And, it all started with Jerome Powell. And, this was all, let's fire him all last week, and all the negativity that we come out on Monday and hear that, or Tuesday, I guess, or Monday night, that it was the complete opposite. You have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we'll see today it's starting to be red. But it has been a great week so far, great comeback, and I don't know, man. That looks like a bottom to me. I don't know if we're calling that is going to be the bottom, but as far as the base, you had 3 days. You wicked that really disastrous day. We've made some comebacks here. You did give back half of that no tariff pause, or that tariff pause day there, for the 90-day tariff pause. And then boom, right back through everything now. So yeah, I think if you're going to play a pullback, I'm looking at 19,000 on the NASDAQ. I mean, I think I should probably dip by something, at some point here, and I'm going to buy the S&P 500. This is the NASDAQ. But if we can get something, a little bit of a pullback, I think it's time to, go shopping. And I'm fine with shopping on the index, so that way I don't have to pick a stock. But I was really impressed with Amazon, really impressed with Robinhood lately. I mean, Bitcoin's not almost 95,000.
Impressed with Bitcoin.
So, I mean,
awesome.
What a great recovery. I mean, we were all wondering what was going on when that thing was at 77, 78. And now, like, you're up 25% from that level right there as well. So, I mean, who cares what Bitcoin's, job is? It's, it's holding, and it was,
Kathy Woods,
well defended.
I think her bear case, I think Sharif was saying this, her bear case, I think, was 300,000 or something like that by the end of 2026. I don't know. It was.
I mean, she had 5,000 on Tesla or something.
Insane.
I don't know.
Like, more power to that. We'll take it. But no, absolutely impressive Bitcoin as well. But like it's like you said, everything is looking really good, except for like volatility's come back a little bit and gold's come back a little bit. Like those side, that's the end of the coin, which is not so great. But yeah, we're starting up pretty well. I'm a little surprised that they're selling Google the way that they are, but it's not like it's crazy to the downside. But it is a bit steady Eddie. I forgot to mention this off the bat. My daughter had swimming yesterday.
Nice.
And we weren't late, but we were. Let's just say, we were like a couple of minutes slower than we usually are. And we had to get there, we had to get changed, right? So I'm in a little bit of a rush mode. Walk right into the door, and all of a sudden there's a dude that just walks right, and he's like, Neil.
Oh, good.
Look, man, I've lived in Brampton all my life.
Right.
So my first instinct is, we go to school together. I always like, do we go to school together, something like that. And I completely blank, and I'm just staring there like an idiot. My daughter's like, what are we doing? And he's like, I watched a short video. I'm like,
oh, okay,
hey.
Yeah.
So shout out to you, Kamal, if you happen to be watching. He was on his way out with his family. We're on our way in, so we're a bit rushed.
job,
Wish
Kamal.
we got to chat more, but shout out to you, Kamal.
Good. I hope he's watching too.
And, he's an investor. He loves to invest. Not much of a trader, but learning a lot from the show. So appreciate you.
Good.
Appreciate you, Randy. It's always a happy story.
What are you looking at, Randy? Well, Palantir's doing well, yeah. Today, I mean, we had a good number from Google. We had a bad guide from Intel. Intel down 7% today. So, yeah, that's a bad one. And then Google's a little higher, and then your Tesla today, above 260. I didn't even realize that. So we'll see if we can hold above two. With the market down, I actually haven't really looked at Tesla today. So above that 260 marker, that's actually a pretty good look. Glad that Tesla's up here today. with this market doing this. So yeah, maybe we'll put this on the sticky note down here around 260. So we were just saying that. Now they've won 2 games in overtime, and normally we'll at least lose one of those.
Time to get the broom out.
You think so, eh? Okay, Saturday night is
Gotta
sweep
think so,
time, according to Randy.
I hope so.
Bo Bandy over there.
You know how they're going to
Oh,
fight.
I put those things on my eyes
Saturday.
before, my guy. All right, so 260. Do we like Tesla at that level? We'll have to figure out what's going on.
Over 260. I say, huh? Yes. Oh, okay. I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, I used to have, we have those at my house for everyone. I look like shit, but I never wear them. Yeah. I don't worry about.
I've never worn those.
Yeah. As you can tell, I'm not too worried about the looks. You know what I'm saying? But okay, let's go back over to the desk with Sharif and Adara.
SMCI guys, Citigroup initiating coverage actually for the first time on Super Microcomputer, and it's kind of mixed. It's not bad. They come out with a neutral rating, calling it higher risk, setting the price target at $39 a share, which does imply a little bit of an upside. Currently, we're trading at 35 3/4. I'll let Adara cover some of the comments that were made there, but keep in mind that Super Micro guys has about 8% of the world's AI server revenue share, so that's not a small amount for one company to hold. So this is why we're getting a bit of a coverage right now with Citigroup. Adara, what else did they say?
Yeah, and I think honestly that 8% is a huge part of the reasoning for their rating. They said it's still one of the top players in that GPU as a service cloud space. They also said that it's going to likely continue to benefit from these secular trends in AI, specifically with regards to infrastructure. But because of its strength and because of its role in that space, it actually could be hit by how competitive the sector is becoming. So even though it has a huge notable role in that space, as mentioned by Sharif, that actually could lead to its downfall if things continue to be competitive. So very fascinating note here for SMCI, but overall pretty fair rating, I would say, from Citigroup, $39 price target.
Yeah, fair. And I want to, before we go back to the boys, I'm sure the boys will look at the technicals, but I really wanted to point out on the chart over here, this key technical level at around $35 to $36. Since basically the middle to the late February, we've been defending either using 35, 36 as a level of support or resistance, guys. So I don't know how you feel about that $35 to $36 level.
Well, yesterday felt short at the top because it was at the end of the day. Feeling at least a little bit bullish after what we got from Alphabet there. But SMCI is doing the exact same or similar thing to what you're seeing in Google and the overall market, which is slowly drifting down. It just cannot be helping that you're getting all of this mixed messaging with the are they or aren't they talking, are they or aren't they negotiating a deal. And I feel like that's why you're getting a little bit of the sell, but you might have to actually take out 36.5 for this to really get going. And it probably has to get back to 35 for dips or like 34 or something like that. SMCI is not high on the radar because at that top, I was looking for reversion off the high yesterday. And I don't know how much it kind of does set up for a bit of a short. Like I might know I have a firm for a double top, but not SMCI. Like I'm looking, a firm has a like similar technical level, like a double top, resistance on the daily underneath the 50-period moving average. I suppose SMCI is setting you up with the same thing. I'm a little bit bullish on the chips today, which would probably, with the exception of Intel, which is probably why I'm not thinking of that same short from yesterday on SMCI. But Sharif's dead on about that level. You could see it pull back off of this. It would make sense.
Yeah, I was just looking. It's a stock that I actually like a little bit better than SMCI right now is going to be Dell. I just think it's a little more aggressive here to the upside, trying to break through the 50-period moving. Oh, Randy again, man. Randy's coming up big on Fridays, man. We miss Randy. He's sometimes you're not even here on Friday. That's what I was just going to say.
Surprise, the weather's nice.
Very, very nice. You got to get that. The cars are getting cleaned. Are you doing all the detailing this weekend? You did that last weekend. Oh, brakes? Do you do your own brakes or? Oh, okay. So we'll get that figured out there. Put miles on that thing. You got to get the new truck soon, or see what happens. You got to get the EV. I mean, we were so hyped up about getting those EV things in the basement, and they just, they look nice.
No one's using them.
Do they work? I mean, we think they do. I don't know. Have they ever been tested?
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah. We had there's a little smart car down there, the original little boxed smart cars.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they look like a clown car, but. Anyways, here's Dell on the 50-period moving average. I mean, we're going to have Michael Noss coming through here. And I mean, what you're looking at on a daily is this 50-period moving average. And we're just bouncing right off of it. If we can sort of close above, I like to see this $100 marker. If we can get above 100 there on Dell, then you have the 50 for support. And then we ride all the way up to 112. And we see what's going on there with Dell. So, you know, Dell and SMCI, again, pick your poison on either one of these ones. All right, Pool Shark has something in there. You want to take it?
Shout out to Pool Shark with the $50 super chat. The final bear trap. The final bear trap.
There's more doo-doo-doos on there.
There's more than I just said out there. But if you don't, look, if you have kids, you know the song. Enjoy getting that out of your head today. You know what? I don't mind it, man. It's all good memories because I remember when my daughter would do like dances to that song and it was awesome. And we do it with her, you know, like whatever. Let's go hunt. Good song. Pool Shark, shout out to you. Appreciate you. Let's have some fun. But you think it's going to be a bit of a bear trap? Okay, so I think that means dip and rip. Well, they're dipping it on Google today, and there's a few things we're looking for some dips. I'm looking for some dips and rips on here today. So that's what I'm hoping for. I love the number we got from Alphabet. Like I said, Intel's not good, but everything else seems to be okay.
From Pool Shark to Baby Shark. So,
yes.
Yeah, great tune there. I like there's so many remixes to that song too. It's pretty.
So many of them.
Pretty funny. All right, Coffee Ahoy.
A few billion views that must have.
Probably. You know, one person that I know is probably in their Baby Shark era is going to be very, very soon, if not already. Let's go over to the desk. We'll talk to Michael Noss and see if he can comment on Baby Shark.
It's got to be now.
All right, everybody's favorite chartered market technician from the Maritimes of Canada. Michael, I was looking over the slides. It looks like we're thrusting today. Looks like we're talking about that thrust. So tell us more about the thrust.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it PG talking about thrusting. But I don't know if your guys' Twitter is anything like mine, but it was literally all anyone was talking about yesterday. Right. So probably people saw a lot about the Zwag thrust, so we'll talk a little bit about it. So the first chart I have just kind of shows a little bit in history, and I'll just kind of talk over this one. So the idea here is that Mark Zwag, I think, came up with this indicator ages ago, and the idea is it's a breadth thrust, and just basically breaking that down. I'll go into the specifics, but the main idea is that instead of looking at the price action of the overall market, we look at the price action of all of the underlying securities. So you take the advanced decline line, how many stocks are going up that day versus how many stocks are going down that day. You slap a 10-period moving average on it, and if it dips very quickly under 0.4 for anyone who wants to know the exact numbers, but the idea is that a lot of stocks are going down, and they're going down for at least 10 days on average pretty hard. And then very quickly, within 10 days, that pops up, and now it's over 0.6. So basically, let's just put it this way. Most stocks going down really hard for about 10 days or so, and then that quickly reverses, and you get 2 or 3 days of this to push this moving average up, so that the moving average, most stocks now are going up quite a bit. And it's a very specific thing. It's only happened like a handful of times between World War II, when they started using this and testing this, all the way up till now. And you can see we actually had one. We'll zoom in. We had one yesterday. So this is the first time. This is why all the technicians in the world are freaking out about it again. Maybe it's just my Twitter feed, but it's really all that I saw last night. So I went back through history just to kind of show you guys all of the times that this had happened in the past. Now, there was a few times in the last bear market where there was kind of false starts. So just like anything, it's not perfectly accurate. But the idea is that when you get not just the market moving higher, because we know the market is cap weighted and it has a lot to do with the big cap tech names, but you get all of the little guys moving higher, which is why we're looking at market breadth, or the average movement of the average stock. Those start to pop higher. Quite often, it signals at least a short-term end to potential bear markets. Again, you can see a lot of them here on the weekly chart. You want it to more often than not be buying these things than selling them. So we can go to the next chart, and we'll zoom in a little bit here just to show you what happened again in 2022, 2023, that kind of bear market. market, we had a lot of these movements as well, where, one time it was a bit of a false start. The next time, that would have been a great time to kind of declare the bear market over and be buying there. And then again, you can see yesterday this triggered as well. So the lower line that you're seeing is just exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for that dip under 0.4. So basically saying most stocks on a 10-period rolling moving average are just tanking. And that quickly reverses. That's a lot of the premise behind this. It quickly reverses so that most stocks are actually rallying pretty hard. So we can go here to the next slide and have a little bit more detail. So if we zoom in, we can see that actually triggered yesterday and today. So 2 times in a row we've gotten it. That's part of the criteria as well. You don't want to just see a little pop up and then a reversal, but it actually had been a while until those 2 things, or since those 2 things is triggered. You can see really nothing for this whole bear market. This is the first time that we've actually gotten that trigger. So if we pop into the next chart here, we can see. Now, there's no way you guys are going to make this out, so I'll talk a little bit just about it on the cuff, but this is a super swag breath thrust. This is how nerdy us technicians get, where you have that 2 days in a row of that up action where, again, people are just buying stocks, not just the market buying stocks. In this case, it's only happened 5 or 6 times, but the far right column is what's happened 1 year later after this super thrust, and it's all bullish, it's all up, and it's all up roughly 20% from where the market is, which would get us pretty much close to all-time highs. So some really good action. The last slide I have is just kind of a cautionary tale. I know everybody in the world is watching this 550 area on the S&P 500. I'm watching it as well for some of the reasons that most people are. Like I have highlighted there, it is where we broke down from on that Liberation Day news. That was the support we were holding for a while. But that blue line on the top is the anchored VWAP from all-time highs. And I have sometimes highlighted there where you can see every time we've bounced on it so far since we've made new all-time highs, there was massive resistance there that ended up pushing this lower. So a huge area here around 550. We want to take these signals of these breath thrusts and these rare signals and put them as kind of one checkpoint for us and say, yes, that looks bullish, but at the same time, we want to look at price action. So for me, if we can get and close above 550 today or next week, I think I'm going to start being a buyer again. And if this fails, then it fails, right? But just something with such a good track record going back in history makes me a little bit more bullish and a little bit more interested to potentially buy trends as opposed to what we've been doing at Stats Edge trading for so long, it seems, which is just kind of buying dips and selling rips. So maybe, fingers crossed, we could be seeing an end to a little bit of the madness, at least for now.
Yeah, it's a really great point there you bring, Michael, because I've been seeing this specific pattern on the chart on a lot of different names, whether it's some of your cybersecurity names, some of your Mag 7 names. There seems to be that higher low, higher low, higher low creeping into that technical area of resistance that was formerly support. 550, you make that point on the SPY, but it's really evident on a lot of these other, major market names. Now, here's the deal. Is this sort of an ascending wedge that we should be looking at possibly for a flat top break, or is there some other indicator that can help us gauge whether or not this could be a false breakout?
I absolutely love that anchored VWAP from all-time highs because, you guys, again, you talked to Brian Shannon a whole bunch, so his book on it's amazing, but it's a great sentiment indicator because essentially the anchored VWAP from all-time highs means, say you just came into the market and you just started buying the market and dollar costing average at the worst time, which is the all-time highs. Above that anchored VWAP, it means that person who's been dollar costing averaging since all-time highs is starting to become positive. And I actually have an algorithm that I've chatted about before, and I'll bring some ideas on Monday about that. It's looking for just that. It's looking for us to spend time under this anchored VWAP from all-time highs and then break through it. The idea being that there's a bit of a sentiment shift there where you've taken a lot of people who are down a lot of money and now they're up. So I really, really like that. I think for me, it's just, can we stick the landing, which would be, a couple days or a weekly close above that anchored VWAP and 550. And then the beauty of it is I know where I'm wrong. If we close back below it on any kind of significant way, then it's time to go. So I can play around this zone, keeping my losses really, really small. And then if this is a bottom, then you've got all that room to all-time highs and potentially beyond.
Yeah, that anchored VWAP looks awfully good on this chart, especially Michael, going back away. So we'll have to see if it continues to act as that level of resistance. But like most people, I'm hoping for that 550 close above on the S&P. Go ahead.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right, Michael. Take care now.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Whoa, hey,
Well, big thank you to Michael there.
Thrusting into a Friday.
Yes, there were many puns that I feel like if I was on there with Michael, I probably would have thrown them out there. So I'm glad Sharif was able to maintain that strict professionalism. But you can't ignore, like, that anchored is a good technical level on the SPY, right? Like, I think that's the thing. Like, it's confluence at that 550 on the SPY. And you see a lot of setups that are going to look like this. And I think Sharif was actually mentioning when you have this support to resistance kind of set up, throw in the fact that there's an anchored there. I was already looking at something. We talked about SMCI earlier, and that's not completely dissimilar. Whoops. That's not completely dissimilar. Not as extreme of a move, but it's going right back to where it broke down and where it settled down. Affirm was another chart I was looking at that's like that. So it's not just the big boys. Like, there are a lot of other, maybe not as market-related names that are coming into the same sort of pattern where you're thinking resistance until proven otherwise, or at least expecting dip and rip as your modus operandi. So yeah, a lot of charts are going to look this way. I think narrowing down the ones that give you the best maybe execution if we turn around at this high makes a lot of sense to me. I was eyeballing Affirm already, but if the SPY turns at this level, it would make that even better.
Yeah, a few names. I like that 550. That 550, he dropped Brian Shannon's name in there as well. Brian was calling the short off of that 550, so would make sense if we do wind up breaking through it. I don't have it up yet. I was just looking at it on another chart. There it is, AM right here, the spiders. So, you're pretty darn close to that right now. I think we can get to 550. Yesterday was high 548. Was it the high at the end of the day? Yeah, so 548. So we came right into that level, and it was, and again, thanks to Michael for bringing that up, it was a level that Brian had called. I'm not sure. He was on Tuesday, but, looking to fade off of this level. So this would be the short then today, right? Because this is the level. Like, whether or not you get 548, 550, 551 too, like, you're looking for it to pull back in off of this bump. I mean, this is just an pretty impressive move in 2 weeks, man, from 480 to 550 on the S&P 500 with a lot of names catching a lot of wind here. So, yeah, I think it's, for me, I have the number one idea on here as the NASDAQ short today. So I really feel that, we've gone a little bit, not that we've gone too far today or anything like that, but it's such a great week. I could see a little bit of a pullback with China news still up in the air. So for me, we have the China worries still, although we do get good earnings from Google and we do get sort of par for the course on Intel. I mean, I don't want to say, we were all thinking Intel was going to be higher. Maybe the low was potentially in, but whatever. This is going to be a restructuring situation there for Intel. We'll talk about that when we get to the actual story, but the NASDAQ not really being affected.
We got work to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, at the end of the day, I don't think it's too much earnings related, these moves today in the NASDAQ. It's pretty muted so far. Next week with Apple and Meta and all that, I think we're going to,
much bigger.
People are waiting for that. Meta had a great pull through. Like, Meta really liked that Google number. So that could be another name to play on the outside of the exact earnings name. So we definitely like that. All right, if we're ready, we can go to the screen. We have upgrades and downgrades with Miss Adara.
Kicking off this earnings-heavy upgrades and downgrades list this morning. Alaska getting an upgrade from TD Cowen. Mobileye, which reported yesterday morning, they have a upgrade from TD Cowen as well. TD Cowen also upgrading ST here. But then our third upgrade of the day, actually not from TD Cowen. This one is from Howd Group, upgrading Republic Bancorp with a $69 price target. Downgrades here, we've got Darling to start things off. Darling Ingredients getting downgraded by, once again here, TD Cowen. TD Cowen also downgrading Valero. But then we have Skechers. This name got hit pretty hard on earnings yesterday, getting a downgrade from Maness, Crespi, and Hart. Last but not least, Tractor Supply Co. with a downgrade from Telsey Advisory Group. So some pretty interesting names here. A lot of these were names you saw report earlier this week. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. Yeah, Mobileye, obviously they reported, they were some of the reason why you had some strength in Intel yesterday before, of course, their report. But what's troubling on that chart for Mobileye specifically, although I guess for trading it might be good if it can actually break this, look at the respect of the moving averages that Mobileye is giving you here. Like, obviously, you can spot a downward trend without the moving averages, but the 200 period has been completely rejected, and it just rejected the 50 on good earnings yesterday. So unfortunately, the follow through doesn't look like it's happening on Mobileye. Volume still, I just looked over. Wow, volume still ridiculously low for day trade. This needs to close above that 200. Like, make another run at doing this and then breaking out the local high. But if it can close above the 200 period, I think there's a good chance for this to really rally. Like, if we break this 550 area we keep talking about on the SPY, you look at some of the laggards that might outpace on a bounce to the upside. They just had a good print. They've had a very distinct downward technical trend. So we break 550. Ideally, you'd want this breaking and holding above 16, not 15. But I think that could be something that happens next week. If earnings are good enough and strong enough next week, I think that's something we could see from Mobileye.
All right. Yeah. The downgrade that I was looking at there was Valero. We don't talk about it enough, but we are always thinking about, like, I think that China, like, if we can, again, this is refinery, right? So if oil and if we can start to get back to the production of goods and, you know, some of this global recession, I've sort of said the same thing about energy now all week. So I think Valero looks like it's doing its thing, breaking above 116. Obviously, we don't like to see the downgrade. All right, we're in our first position. We just put this out on our sticky note, TQQs, breaking below the pre-market low and this level right there. I'm short right now the NASDAQ. You know, I think it's a short day. I don't mind being short right here. We're in about half, about half a unit, maybe a little less than that. Right now. So we'll see. Hopefully we can drip down, but this is the #1 trade right here. We're in it. My #1 idea anyways was short today. Now, whether or not the market goes, it's only 9 o'clock, but we're going to be short right here into the market to start the day. It's on the note. It's out right now, so go find it. Let's go back over to the desk. You have the watch list you can get through. We're going to do that. We're going to talk about all this, but now I got my mind on my money and my money on the NASDAQ short. Here and we'll stop out if it takes out the 50 period moving average, something like that, or maybe even the 200. Maybe we'll just take out if it goes back up through VWAP, okay? Because that's $52. I think that's fair. We won't be handcuffed with our position or anything like that. Like I said, a pretty light one to start the day. We still have the imbalances to get through, which we haven't even talked about. So let's go over the desk. We're running a little short on time. Then we'll do the rundown, and I'll show you the imbalances, and we'll see if we can work our way in and out of this position.
Guys, make sure to get the watch list every day. Adair prepares it, and we all use it on the show over here. And no good morning routine is complete without a good watch list that helps you know what's running in the morning, what the headlines are, and how to organize your day, especially with earnings season right around the corner. Make sure you're apprised of what to expect on the day. So let's start the first one over here. It is Google Alphabet reporting yesterday after the bell, and it was a beat almost everywhere. Really, the only thing that I saw that actually missed was Google Cloud revenue, with just a little bit below 12.26 billion, just below that 12.27 billion the street was expecting. Doesn't matter though, because it continued to grow in the high double digits, 28% year over year. Adara, tell us more.
Their Google Net revenue, the Google Network revenue was also a little bit of a miss here, 7.3 billion versus 7.4 from the prior year. But yeah, Google Ads, nice growth. Google Search, nice growth. Google Advertising, 66.9 billion versus 61.7 billion last year. So that's huge. What I was saying to Sharif that was pretty interesting is the analyst notes are not necessarily as bullish as you might think, though, of course, there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. Rosenblatt cutting its price target, Wells Fargo maintaining equal weight. BofA Securities, though, maintaining buy and raising its price target because they did beat here on EPS and on sales, announced a $70 billion buyback program, which I feel like has gotten really overlooked in this earnings cycle. But yeah, earnings of $2.81 per share versus $2.01 expected. Sales $90.23 billion versus $88.87 billion expected.
So not a bad look here, guys. Let's talk a little bit more about some of the other aspects of this. With respect to AI spend, that's been a concern a lot. We've heard, Amazon as well as Microsoft not want to expand to new projects. Google reiterating that they are planning on spending $75 billion in CapEx in 2025. Good look there. Waymo as well. Wowzers. That Waymo now doing 250,000 weekly autonomous rides in San Francisco, LA, Phoenix, and Austin. And when asked by Andrew Ross Sorkin during the book deal, Sundar Pichai said, It's completely on the table whether Waymo can be spun off as an independent company. Looking good here, guys. What's your look?
The interesting thing about Google is I don't like the price action this morning on it. You know, and I think the quarter was good. I love the fact that we have the continuing of the spend. That's good for the chips. I was mostly worried if they cut back on their CapEx spend, that would be a bad signal, given that we still have to wait on the other big hyperscalers, and that would have been a bit of concern. I don't think there was any, emergency. Whoa, what just happened there?
I don't know. The market just popped. That's okay.
It's this thing that, we just saw. Sometimes you see that quote level.
Oh, no, not Trump.
No, you just see all of your quotes go the same way.
Yeah, I got filled. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, we'll see what Trump is saying there. Just to finish off, it wasn't panic when it came to advertising. Although they did hint that could be affected, right? So I think you got to wait for Meta to feel like that's going to be all good because they're a big deal in the space as well. I was looking more at Apple. I feel a little bit better, at least at the levels where I would be comfortable where we like to dip buy on Apple, because I saw like a double bottom from the next 2 days. So I'm probably going to sit out, and we're going to talk about Apple a little bit later, but I'm going to sit out Google, and I'm also going to look mostly at Apple and Tesla for any potential longs, because we're going to talk Intel next, and I like them for a short, and I've already mentioned a firm I like for a short as well. Just a weird price action for me on Google. I thought they would have held a bid much better than they have.
All right, so just really quickly, I just want to talk about what just happened there. I don't know. I don't have the news in my ear, but this could change everything. If Trump is speaking right now, this could change it all. But we just got short again. So we have our average price now. Now we have 1 unit on this futures trade. I just took some out for flat. I took out 10% right there because, again, short there, out for a little bit in the middle. And now we'll just see. I mean, we really don't have to get out of anything there. But I wanted to take something just because. So, maybe a little foolish to get something out there, but we'll see now if it comes back in. Remember, with Trump on the mic, and the guy can literally say anything at any time. He could just go on a rant about firing Powell again. I have no idea.
He's done.
So yeah, hopefully he's in that plane now and he's off to Mar-a-Lago or wherever he was going today. He's going to Italy?
It's the Pope's.
Oh, boom. Okay, God's country, literally, I guess, today. Okay, so Google. Well, look, I know my guy Joe is in Google over there. I know my guy's in Bitcoin. You got to be happy today for both of these things. As Google up 3%, Bitcoin trying to crack through 95. Look at that guy. Yeah. He's liking this action today, as I think we all should. But I don't want to throw too much cold water on this. I'm not in love with the whole search situation, and they have a couple years to decide what's going to happen with the FTC here. I'm a little nervous about that business. That's the whole thing for me. I do understand that there's Waymo. I don't think right now Waymo is such a small piece of the pie that if that's what we're really thinking about, I think it's not great. The LLMs, ChatGPT has gone up from 200 million users, daily active users, to 600 million. And I don't know, I worry about the business model. That's it. So I think it's great to have that today. $70 billion buyback is fantastic. There's nothing wrong with Google. It's just, I don't know, not really in love with the stock as much as I was. I just look at it and I think Meta might be a better buy. I think Amazon might be better down here. I actually think the S&P 500 can outpace Google.
I like Meta and Amazon better too.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Against Google, though.
No.
Out to me, but.
No. Of course I've looked at Berkshire, man. I'm loving some Berkshire. Fabian loves some Berkshire. Berk B. I was buying that a while ago, and that's. Oh, Berk A. Yeah,
Berk A.
This.
Yeah, Fabian buys Berk A. The rest of us buy Berk B.
But anyways, that's. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Apparently, also, we buy more shoes from Pool Shark. Once again, thank you for another super chat.
Pool Shark.
The shoes, they're done. I don't know where they are.
So they're not available? So they are available or they're not available?
I'm not in on Monday. I'm not in Monday. Bring them on Monday. I'll pay you on Tuesday. I'm giving you I'm buying the shoes off you, Sharif.
Sharif's not taking your money. I'll just take. Sharif, I'll take it for you. I'll hold it in custody for
Sharif's
you.
like, I won't take your money. Like, what are you selling? Thank you guys for the super chat.
Small
the shoes are
transaction fee.
acquired. It's done. We got them.
Okay, good. So we don't have to. Don't message Sharif anymore if they're available or not. All right, let's go talk about some Intel. Yikes.
Interesting look for Intel. I mean, they beat on the top and bottom line with respect to the current quarter. EPS beat, revenue beat, net loss grew though, sadly, about $800 million net loss. That's higher than the $400 million they printed a year ago. This is where it all fell apart though. The Q2 revenue forecast, that missed Adara, $11.8 billion. That was well below the $12.82 the street wanted. QPS, EPS, that's break even. The street wanted 6 pennies. The reason is uncertainty, says Lib Bhutan, from fluid trade policy as well as regulatory risk and rising recession fears. Or sorry, David Zinsser said this, the CFO, not Lib Bhutan.
Yeah, David Zinsser, who was actually their former co-interim CEO.
Adara, yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, David Zinsser, which is again the former co-interim CEO of Intel, currently the CFO. He's concerned about tariffs. But here's the thing, there were some good aspects of this report, Sharif, that I really want to emphasize. Their data center and AI revenue, I was seeing estimates here of about $2.96 billion. Yep. They reported $4.1 billion in data and AI center revenue, up 8% year over year. Their foundry revenue up 7% year over year, and their other revenue category was up 47% year over year. So this guidance is very, very much below expectations, but there were some aspects of this report that are not negative. Though again, it's worth noting they also said they're going to be doing some workforce cuts or some cutbacks in general.
Yep.
And they basically also said they're not planning any M&A in the immediate future. They need to focus on the balance sheet.
Yeah, to build on your point there with respect to cuts, Adara, OPEX, so operating expense cuts, they're looking for $17 billion. That cut from 17.5, so about $500 million savings there. CapEx also getting cut, boys, from $20 billion down to 18. And as you mentioned, Adara, they are planning job cuts. Sadly, some people will lose their job. It's expected to be in the management only. The exact numbers still undetermined, guys.
Yeah, look, you don't want to see people lose their jobs, obviously. Cuts are a good thing for them. Continue to try to streamline. The whole, like, they're going to stop M&A. Like, well, I mean, Intel, somebody buys you, not you buy them anymore. Like, that's, you kind of at the other side of it at this point. So yeah, that kind of should have gone, they should have gone without saying. Today, not yesterday's bottom, but Wednesday's low at 250, 20.5. 20.5. Hopefully that's not a Freudian slip and this doesn't go to 250. If we get up there, it's down far enough that I think if it starts to go, you get a rally and fade. So looking at this, if we do test that upper band on the futures, then I think this can get there and look for a curl. But I'm looking to fade any pop today in Intel, and 2050 is a level. 20's got this weird barcode thing going, and then 19.8 would be like a breakdown level, like you break under here and you have room to 1920. But this is the barcode I'm talking about. You know, if we break 20, I'm expecting a decent enough pop to the upside because it's down that 7%, and we've seen it rally from here on bad earnings in the past, and you got to be patient trying to work into that short. It's either going to be a short right away, or we're going to have to sit and patiently wait for that pop and fade. I am looking also at, just very quickly, AMD again. It's not going to break this 95. The 93 on AMD here for a bit of over and under. If we can hold 93 at the open, I think you've got some strength in over advanced micro devices. And the gap is sort of obvious. We break 93. That same 90 buy area looks pretty good. But Intel's more the focus because of the earnings.
Yeah, I have Intel here, going to be a top play for me as well. It's down here. It's 1980 short. I just thought that, we're looking to break that pre-market low. We got a bad guide, and I could see a flush. So we had talked about that. It's all written here on the note. You can go check it out on Instagram or on Twitter. But that's the bottom there, 1980. So if it breaks right there, you can look at it on a daily chart as well. If we can break below this 1980, we're right into here. Then I do think we can see 19 today. So let's see if we do test that bottom. I mean, that would mean we're being down more than 10%. I think that's more than capable of doing that. And then I don't think we're going to necessarily flush down to 18 or 17 or anything like that. That would have already happened if that was the case. So it could be a relatively quick trade, but I do think early this name does flush down. It looks like we're kind of trying to get there now. I mean, look what's happening with the NASDAQ. Of course, I'm short the NASDAQ. Look what's happening right here as this starts to go back upside. You know, Intel's like ignoring everything. It's like not even thinking about it. So, yeah. You know, a flush in the NASDAQ definitely pulls this thing down. So we've already marked down 1980. I don't have the stop in for that yet. As we get a little bit closer, I think we'll put it in. And what I mean by a stop is to trigger through. And so I don't have to execute it, myself. So that will be something that we'll look at. And then the other thing was... I cannot remember. So we'll wait for, I know what I want to do. I wanted to show the imbalances because I was just talking about them. You know, look, they're not out yet for the NASDAQ, right? But it's a very, very mixed board here so far today. There's really no technology. I mean, we've got BBAI on here back up to $3, so that's nice to see. We've seen some active moves in that the last couple of days. But other than that, there's really nothing on here. Stellantis, but there's, you know, no real big tech names or anything on here, like in Intel, Google. Oracle's not on here as a New York name. So, yeah, it's just wait and see for 925. And then that's when we'll be able to, I don't know why I clicked on BBAI there. And that's when we'll wait to see about Intel. But look at that. It's already starting to get a little low. I feel like $20 might be the right trade. But we've seen this thing really start to move off earnings. And I think because it's day one, it's post earnings, first day, you could get, you know, some back and forth movement here that doesn't make much sense. So I'll just trade what I know, and that is the pre-market break. And if we get below that, then, you know, I do want to be short. So Intel for the short today, I think is something that we're both going to be looking at. So.
Guys planning on shifting all their U.S. destined iPhone production to India from China. That's obviously in response to Donald Trump's tariffs and the move away from relying on the Chinese supply chain. Foxconn and Tata, those are the two companies that they've got in India that are actually producing iPhones right now. Most of them don't go to the United States. About 20% of the United States phones come, or destined iPhones come from India. So we'll keep an eye out on that, Adara. And in March 2025, we saw this whole front loading where Apple shipped about $2 billion worth of iPhone from India into the United States to get around these tariffs.
Also in March, apparently 2 more production areas or production facilities in India were set up. So Apple really trying to do this pivot here. We know that, of course, because 80% of their iPhones destined for the U.S. currently are built in China. That's pretty significant. So, of course, that's something they want to be careful about given the current tariff situations. The thing is here, these higher prices, if they do end up continuing production in China, could lead to problems with margins and give Android smartphone makers a better spot in the competition. So Apple has to be really careful here with what they do next. There was also a story floating around yesterday, around the close, about shifting around their robotics team to help up their AI potential, but it's a pretty small story. I don't think Benzinga ever even got it.
Just to give you guys some context about the numbers, so let's just talk for an example. Foxconn has a plant in India. It produced about 20 million iPhones in 2024. That's the 15 and the 16. Apple, though, sells about 220 million iPhones annually. Roughly about 20% of those 220 are already coming from India. So we'll see exactly how quickly they're able to phase that out, but that's not a small number, guys.
Nothing happens that fast. Like, big things take time, and if it's worth doing, it's going to take some effort, and I think it's a good move for Apple ultimately, so can't really complain about that. We've talked about that SPY level, and for Apple, I think if you're corresponding these levels in the futures that Michael was talking about and had been mentioned, you got to respect about 210 here in Apple. Like, that's pretty clear as day, as everybody can see. So I like that story, and I wanted to be bullish like yesterday on Apple, but you're a little bit too close to the resistance. Sorry, yeah, you're a little bit too close to the resistance there. And I look at 203.5. Like, it's a double bottom. There's a bit of room for it to fall in. I feel like if we're going down, this is one spot where if I see buyers come in like they did the last couple of days, we jump in, it's at 203.5. It's going to have to go another % down to try to catch a bid. And if you look at the gap underneath it, I think if it loses that, you better be waiting until $200 because I think it can fill in that gap. So many stocks have that same setup, like that AMD. If it loses 93, I think it's at $90. Tesla, if it loses 58, I think it's at 52 to 54 area. which we're not going to talk about Tesla, I don't think. There. So let me just show you Tesla. It's sort of a similar thing here. If we lose 58 on Tesla, I think we're headed to the low 50s. So we're either holding it right away, that 203.5, or we're gonzo. And it's similar. I have a similar feel for Tesla, that 60 to 58. If we hold this on the opening range, I think you have a trend up to at least test the 550 on the SPY, and then Tesla has room to 270. But underneath all of these gaps are wide ranges. Just that I like a couple of other things short more.
All right, so yeah, Apple is going to be the second stock on my list today to go short. Again, I was feeling short in the market. We'll see if that can work out or not. We're already short the NASDAQ right now. So I wrote down 207, 208 here into that range for Apple. So we're going to be taking that. It's basically yesterday's close right into there. So if we can get a bump up into this area, I'm going to go short Apple and then see if it wants to break highs through 209. Again, the NASDAQ's going to have to run for that to happen. Too many negative stories here with China. And it's just the same story. It's just until we get some resolution there, I want to be short Apple. And right there, it was pretty choppy all afternoon. Chop, before eventually it was going to the upside there. So I'm going to fade this. The momentum yesterday was up, right? I mean, if you bought all these dips, you'd been fine every single time. I just think today it doesn't work. I think it's been a big market for us here recently. So I want to be shorting Apple. And then Odyssey Marine, OMEX right now. That just continues to go higher right now. 65 million shares breaking through some key levels right now. Look at the volume pickup yesterday in this name. I don't know what was going on yesterday about 11 o'clock, but then it just got going, and then it went to sleep in the afternoon before finally waking up to close in and around $1. And now today we get that dollar break bump, and you're up another 90% there. So OMEX looking to take out some highs, and when you zoom back out, you don't see a whole heck of a lot here. That was $5.50 down to $1 right there. So I'm going to have to find out what was going on in September. But you have a lot of room to get going right back there to the upside. So this may not, breaking through the 200 period again, but you could get something up here. That would be amazing if you got to 270. But that's really the next spot, that from what I can see. So OMEX looking to work. If you do get a downside push, 120 might be a good area to think about getting in right into there. And then if you sort of just look at it daily at sort of the 1 minute chart, there's 120-ish again. So some consolidation and then blast. So you always kind of want to look to get to those levels, or we've really respected VWAP the whole time as well. So 130 to 120 on Odyssey here, OMEX. Looks like it wants to work. So there we go, man. We'll wait to see. Havana Woody's in this and a few of our traders on the stream. So congratulations if you're in this. I'm surprised. You just said you had calls, Havana Woody? I'm surprised this stock has calls, but
OMEX has
50-cent
options?
Calls. Okay. So there it goes, man. Huge move up on OMEX. Congratulations to everybody. It's a big one today, 90%.
All right, guys, China next on the list over here. I'm going to take this different angle about the exemptions that China is now granting on U.S. imports. So China granting exemption on some U.S. imports from that 125% tariff, signaling, hopefully, a tentative de-escalation. The Ministry of Commerce is asking companies specifically to submit lists of critical goods they can't source from anywhere else other than the United States, which would qualify for waivers or could qualify for waivers. Sectors that are already benefiting from these are pharmaceuticals, aerospace. The company Safran reported tariff exemptions on engines and landing gear. We've seen this kind of whole drama unfold between China and Boeing. So I have to see how this whole thing goes. But Adara, there's an unfolding story. Tell us more about it.
So I'm going to purely focus on here the back and forth between the Chinese government and Donald Trump. And I could also talk about, of course, what people on Trump's team has said. We're just going to focus on what Trump himself has said. So back on Thursday morning, because I want to make this clear, there are two different things being said here by the Chinese government. It's the same statement, more or less, but it's been said twice. I need to make that very clear. So Thursday morning, yesterday morning, China's Ministry of Commerce comes out here via a spokesperson. They said that there is no factual basis to any claims of any talk between China and the U.S. on trade. Then we get Donald Trump yesterday saying that his team actually talked to China this morning. They had a good talk with China, never confirmed who they were. But then yesterday we get that Time magazine interview coming out. Did you speak with Xi? Trump says Xi called him. Then this morning, China's embassy saying that never happened and that the U.S. needs to stop creating confusion. They said there have been no talks. So again, First, we got the Ministry of Commerce, then we get the embassy. These are two different parties. That is not the same story. It is two separate comments denying all talks with Trump. And then about half an hour later, Trump says that he spoke with Xi. So it's really, really back and forth. Whereas one account put it on X, it's a he said, she said.
Oh, no puns on the big desk, but there's one right there. Neil, what's the look?
It was a quote. So.
That was a good one. I feel like you lined that one up and you set it up very well there, Adara. Look, we already talked a little bit about Apple and the overall market's been said a few times, but I've been seeing this pattern in Alibaba, which has been pretty useful, I think, when you look at just look at the overnight market every single day, and it'll give you some cues. The 120 level on Baba has been a thing. And it is again here today. But when I look at the overnight, if you even break 120, so this is Blue Ocean, so it's the overnight market, 120 breaks, there's still, look at this wall here, 120, 140. So that's an obvious level on Alibaba. And the 120, which was a big one before, see the continuation at that price. So I don't want to get too complicated with it because it's been respecting those levels. Like the 120 gets respected. It ends up being the top today. Or yesterday holding underneath. So on any strength, 120 short, 120, 140. And sometimes notice how you get that dark pool wick. That wick will actually show off what in the overall market or the overnight market was that high. So 120, 1.4 is what I'd be looking at. We do have, before we go back to the desk here, 925 is hit, and you've got a small buy and balance on NVIDIA of 300,000. I mean, SoFi, that's tiny for SoFi at 220,000. So still not really any big imbalances. NVIDIA, the only notable one at 300,000 to buy. But Baba's going to have to travel up for me to want to fade that at the levels we saw from the overnight market. Back to the desk, we've still got Bitcoin to talk about.
The last on the list over here. Good look, guys. We're trading about 94,300, a little bit off those morning highs. I want to talk to you about a couple of things here. So we're at key technical levels, and there's been a breakout from a key technical level. So we had that resistance level that everybody was talking about, 87,000, but 94,200 apparently is a critical level. It tests that 6.18% retracement zone on Fibonacci's. Critical barrier, as I mentioned, 94,250 now may act as a key level of resistance. We'll have to wait and see. Specifically, what we should be looking for here is a weekly close above that level. If we do close above 94,200, 250, we could be on our way to that 99,500 level, which would be that 70.786 on Fibs. Separately, there was also a whale accumulation here, a wallet holding, a wallet holding between 10 to 10,000 BTC accumulated about 19,000 BTC during the recent rally, which is indicating long-term confidence. But there is some money here still being held short. About $700 million in shorts could be liquidated, Adara, if BTC clears that $95,000 area, which still hasn't, potentially moving up to 100,000. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, as I mentioned on the watch list this morning, it's pretty crazy move. We're set for a 7-day winning streak. We started this winning streak on Saturday, opening around 84,500. Then we actually, as of yesterday, closing around 94,000. So we cleared about $10,000 in 1 week. But again, that 95,000 is key. We rejected it on Wednesday, made a lower high yesterday, so things could get dicey. But again, that green streak's still intact. MSTR looking great as well. This is another one that, Bitcoin related, of course, that got through a pretty big technical hurdle earlier this week of 345. It's held up pretty nicely above ever since. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, but there is some positivity. It's also worth noting, you and I were talking off camera, there is a bit of a divergence right now between NASDAQ and how that trades and how Bitcoin and its related assets trade. So be aware, you might not be able to look at the NASDAQ for these crypto plays.
Absolutely. And one last thing before we send it back to the boys. Guys, net inflows, ETF inflows for BTC this week, 2.2 billion.
Good look for Bitcoin. That 95 is a wall on the daily chart for sure. It needs to get over this 95,000. There's the last time we tested, but you can see we're above the prior support resistance line. Here, a couple people have asked about, look at a weekly chart. This is what happens closing this week back above the prior support. So that's a pretty bullish look. Ideally, we can hold 91.5 on any weakness today, 91.5, 92. Going to look for that bit of a bid on that bad boy. With 1 minute to go, just there was an imbalance, small one on NVIDIA. I don't see it anymore. It was only a few 100,000 shares, but it is now gone. Intel broke the low. No, there's really not. There's a couple of Anything you see up there, those are 2 penny stocks at the top, both $1 million to the buy side, DMN and whatever the other one is. Those are both penny stocks. Intel did break that 19.8 at the open, so might jump into this early. I don't know. If we're not going up, then we can't short 20.5, and that 19.8 has room to 19.2 to said downside. Just quickly, I will show you. NVIDIA did pop a little bit on that small imbalance, not moving a whole lot. And then Affirm is one name that I liked short. Affirm popped a little bit into the 49 level, but I didn't get filled. So trying to get into this one at the open, as it is the final bell of the week. Adara locked and loaded on earnings day, brought to you by VinFast. Shout out to VinFast. Appreciate them. In 2 and 1, let's ring it. Ooh, that was healthy.
Yeah, we're now short Intel. Big banger coming through right now. We told you that we're going to be short this market, and we short Intel to start with. So
it's going.
There it goes. Yeah, man, we're already short. We're already short here, Intel 1976. I mean, this is why we write these things down. This is why we take them. Obviously, we took the pre-market trade here in the Qs, which isn't working out, and we got stopped out of that one. We're still holding 3/4 out of 3/4 of that trade. But there goes Intel. We said that there could be an early flush here, and it looks like that's exactly what we just got. So we'll take on another piece here at 45. There it goes. Bye-bye, Intel. Great trade to start the day over here on INTC. The Nasdaq's doing a little bit of a bounce. Just bounced a little bit off VWAP there. We'll try it again right now. Get a little more short here on the TQs. We did get stopped out there. We talked about getting blown out through VWAP and that we wanted to see if that would work out. But so far, not the greatest there on the TQs. Let's just play it against that high. Maybe we've seen it, maybe we haven't. But that's 52.30s. We're going to get stopped out now if it breaks through that. 52.31, stop out there if that does come into play. Intel moving, and we're into Apple, but a very, very small amount as it goes all the way. I didn't even realize where Apple was going right now. 208, that's the level that we actually want. So we should be shorting Apple, and we were too busy with the futures there to notice that. So here we go. 208 coming into play right now for Apple. We're short the Qs, and we're short Intel. So we're short.
Oh my goodness. Great trade on Intel. I missed Affirm by like 10 cents. You gotta be kidding me. It went all the way. I should probably cancel. It's right back into 47.7. So Affirm did go close to 49, but all the way back down in there. I gotta go over as Intel is coming right back in. I tried to hit, what did I try to hit? 79, I cancel that. I'm sitting to see if I can get picked up on the way back, but that's wild. Look at that bottoming tail candle. I just left that in. If we break 20, remember, if we break 20, I think we're headed to 2002 for sure on Intel. Tesla is heading to the downside. NVIDIA is heading to the downside as well. But I don't know if we're going to get that bid on Apple because that went the wrong direction. I thought we were going to drop, and I would see 203.5 as a support level. Instead, it's going to the upside here on Apple. A little surprising. A little surprising.
All right, we're short everything. Yeah, we're short Apple. Apple's 20 cents in the money. The Nasdaq is a monster right now as that's getting into the money again here as we go short. And we just got stopped out and we bought it back. I mean, pre-market trading is one thing. Yeah, unfortunately, that's what we did there. We get a huge freaky. I hope you got it as well. Good, you got it as well. So great reload here on Intel, man. And we're trading this with size today, got boys and girls. So this is going to be hopefully a good one, but we don't want to get too carried away because the market is forever a crazy beast. So there's the short there. We wrote down 207 to 208. We get 208. We're short right now 207.50. I mean, we can't do any better than that. And then here we are as well, short now the Nasdaq. Let's just start to cover a little bit here. That's a big move down that we just got right there in the Nasdaq. So we don't want to be, too frugal with this and make sure that we do cover because it's early days, right? I mean, we've seen this market dance. So yeah. Let's get out a little bit here, and now we'll start to hold. We're out of about half of the TQs right there at the 50 period, looking for a downside push there. And Apple, we're still good, man, but I'm going to get out another piece of Apple here in the teens, which we just got, and now we'll wait to see if we can really flush down. So 3 shorts on board. The one that's questionable would be Intel at this point, but we just covered. So we got a great cover there on Intel, but it could still go against us. We're short of 84s right now.
Yeah, it's trying to go, like on Intel. I'm about half in on this bad boy. I have to get away from Affirm at this point because it does not want to give me anything up top on Affirm. Come on, Black Chart. Don't do that to me. There we go. But Affirm, it's not really moving at the open the way I want to see it up at 29, so I just have to wait for it. We're getting VWAP in here on Intel. This time I'm going to take some out if we get to 60s again. If this breaks 20, that's a bottoming tail candle. I think you're breaking it out. So just got to be a little bit cautionary with that bad boy. Tesla, what is going on with Tesla? Tesla's still inside the range. No break one way or another here, unfortunately, for that, although it seems like it wants to go up. It's now held to 260. I thought 58,
what day was down there?
I thought 58 was supposed to be support, not 260. So it looks like 260 is pretty good. This is kind of bullish above 260 on Tesla. Let's go to Adara, apparently.
Here's the NASDAQ. We do have comments coming from U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer saying that he had a, quote, productive meeting with his South Korean counterpart on trade. And apparently both the U.S. and South Korea are agreeing to engage in technical talks next week. So some progress reportedly happening here between the U.S. and South Korea on trade, according to U.S. Trade Representative Greer. I also want to let you guys know at 10 a.m., we get a pretty big economic number. It will be the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment. That's going to be the final UMich Consumer Sentiment print for for April. Part of that also includes the 5-year and 1-year inflation expectations. Back to you.
All right, we tried the futures there. I mean, we just got right back up to VWAP. This is not, like we said, man, it's early days. We'll take profit when profit came through, and then we'll lose it when it breaks our levels. Like, that is completely fine if that's what's going to wind up happening to us on a day like today. We've already talked about, that it's Friday. My thought was downside. I'm going to get some more here of Apple, but my downside thought here was short today. So I don't, with the numbers coming out, we could definitely, see this little bit of a pop coming through right now. Okay, so we just reshorted there at 208 right now on Apple. Go ahead. I mean, I'm just shorting Apple.
Pool Shark with the super chat. Appreciate you, Pool Shark. Again, he's got 100 super chat. Bye-bye, VIX. That was a crazy move just now. I have UVXY. We can chart this one better for you guys. But that was a huge reversal candle on the VIX. So shout out to you, Pool Shark. Thank you for the super chat. Everyone hit that like and subscribe and do it for Pool Shark. Because you know what, Pool Shark? I can't get that song out of my head. I'm still doing the Baby Shark song.
Nice, Pool Shark.
But VWAP's getting respected here on Intel, so we're going to continue to try to get some out on the way to the $0.50. Remember, Intel's very close to its 52-week low, so you might want to take profits on this. So sometimes it's so bad, how much further can it get to the downside? Tesla still holding that 260. NVIDIA's trying to break the high, but that wasn't the part of the trade plan. I just saw it breaking the high. But Tesla's still holding this $260 level. So 1 wick, buyers came in right away really quickly. If it gets down there again and I see a similar bottoming tail candle, Tesla's along over 260. But thank you so much, Pool Shark. I'm still chuckling over that one.
The man of pools. We're thankful for all of that. Look, OMEX was another name there that we had talked about. Odyssey Marine. Looks like it's settling down just a little bit. Does get up to that 180. Now it was 90% when we looked at it the first time. It's 90% now. So it's just going to chill out here for a minute. Watch out. The bid's still pretty thick, man. There's a lot of shares going through right now on OMEX. Like, it is quite the mover there today. We do have SEP as well. Thank you so much, Pool Shark. Yeah, that's over $100 today. I think 50 times 2 plus 100 or 200. I meant SEP. Wow, now a $30 name. What in the world? This name was just $10 3 days ago. Put a triple on its head right now as that's going back up to the upside right now for that. And another play that a lot of us were talking about earlier was SMCI up through $36. That was on our watch list there today as well. SMCI trying to go higher. It looks like the short in the market. Yeah, I was going to say it might not be
I'm just looking at this Intel 20. I'm staring it down at that Intel 20 level. Pool Shark again, or I'll get there in a quick little second. Okay, it's trying to take this 20 level, but Affirm is also close to my 49. Let's let it get there because the market's looking relatively strong. It just busted through VWAP, so I'm looking to short off of yesterday's highs. So might as well let it travel to that price if we're going to be bullish going into it. Thank you so much, Pool Shark, again. But this time you're talking gold. Tried a little sad recovery, very weak. People are saying it was one of the weakest comebacks they've ever seen. Couldn't even make it back to the trend line. Total embarrassment. We'll hit the like on that. But think about how strong it's been. Sometimes it's about where you've been from. Like, gold was so strong. There's a lot of profit that needs to be taken, I think, on that bad boy. All right, so Intel runs into the 20 level, does not break, and is coming right back in. So every time it gets underneath VWAP, I get out, and then I look to get back into what I got out of this time. We'll try to take some 90s if we can get them. Tesla's still looking strong. It's breaking away. I don't know if that 260 is going to come into play for us another time. It tried to get there, and you can see the immediate rejection underneath VWAP for Tesla. Super, super strong there. I don't even want to look at AMD because I'll probably kick myself again.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked anywhere other than like really we're just looking at Apple. We looked at some of those bigger names for you guys earlier as well. Sorry, some of those lower names like a OMEX and whatnot. So, yeah, IonQ is now halted with news. So this is going to be another one of those names here that we'll wait to figure it out. I mean, it's a nice downside push. So IonQ right now halted on news. So news pending, I guess. You can halt the stock yourself, right?
Yeah,
so
the company can.
You know, this could be another one of those plays. This is a quantum play, right? IonQ. I always confuse it between quantum and
these guys are quantum.
uranium. So yeah, it's not Oklo. So right there, halted. So we'll wait. As soon as Adara hears something, we'll get into that. DJT also Pop City right now as well. So there goes DJT, nicely traded there. So we will say get it, Donald, for Sharif over there because there it goes, 25 up to 27 and change. There goes DJT. So put that one in your cap there if you want to. If you're looking at it, I mean, it's a good move higher. We just cleaned out of a little bit more of Intel there, but we haven't gotten anything since 70. We're still short 85s. We got a good position there. It was a great trade early. We emptied the clip there, and then there it goes. Now we're starting to go back up to the upside. You know, the earnings name that we've sort of not looked at here yet is Google. Google's falling back in right now. So here comes Google.
What's so weird about this move?
Yeah, I mean, you had actually nailed it earlier, right? I mean, it wasn't trading properly in the pre-market. It was coming down, so there was no surprise to me anyways. I don't have it written on the sticky note today.
I didn't want to trade it because it didn't make sense,
right.
But I guess it was just, I guess it meant it was a short.
I mean, Tesla, what we wrote down, I think both of us were looking at the same areas. I wrote down 260. We should have respected it, but this is the same thing that happened to me yesterday. It's just bad taste in my mouth from whatever the first day was there on earnings on Wednesday trade, where it just got clubbed early and then it rallied back late. So, I mean, waiting for Tesla, the wrong play sometimes.
It's so frustrating because doing what was wrong 2 days ago would have worked the next 2 days on Tesla. So you make an adjustment based on a bad day, and you just don't get away from your plan. I said this yesterday in the lessons. Sometimes you just got to do the thing that works, even if it didn't work the day before, because it's part of your plan.
Apple's not going down either.
Let's go to Adara here, because this market is wild, and I'm curious what this story might be on IonQ as well.
I don't know the IonQ story. That was part of what I wanted to tell you guys. I looked into it. I'm not seeing a single thing on X or on Benzinga, but there are two small caps I want to make you guys aware of. One of them is Resolve AI. RZLV yesterday announced they passed $50 billion in gross merchandise value in 2025, continuing to trade higher on that. The other one is KITT. This is another company that has rallied before and rallies pretty frequently. Nauticus Robotics announcing that the 2025 offshore season has begun, sending the stock to the upside, though it is below its pre-market high. So KITT and RZLV on watch if you like these small cap plays. Back to you.
What today? Thank you, Adara. So it's a couple different small cappers. As I look, 10 o'clock, University of Michigan sentiment for April. That's coming out. And then a couple inflation numbers to do with the same thing. So we'll have to wait to see there. I mean, it's going to be a big trade for us. We nailed it. I mean, we really did nail Intel today. We nailed it off the open, and exactly what we talked about. I mean, we wrote it down here on our note that we gave to everybody. Looking for a flush early as traders exit post earnings. So we've already got a 1940 in our account right there. Good year, bad year, I guess, actually. As that moves all the way down as we start some of the wars. Not great. Not a great time. But at the end of Intel, looks like 1940 is kind of where we stop. So there's the early. Okay, let's go. Keep bleeding downside right now. INTC. So that should be the trade for us that we're looking for. Getting some more out as we go, man. We have many clips to fire off here. Many rounds in this. In this name, so hopefully we can fall back in. My next bid, I don't have one, so I'm going to put one at 50 right now on Intel. I know that's maybe a little pie in the sky area, but if we can get down there, we'll take it, and then we'll try to hold about 30%.
I'm bidding DiMaggio.
You're DiMaggio there? Okay, is that 58?
Wasn't it 57?
57?
If
I got a baseball thing and you didn't, this will be good.
What year did DiMaggio retire? It doesn't matter. I thought he retired in 52. Never mind. I'm bidding next at 57. So it doesn't matter. That's a baseball reference that I should not have gotten completely wrong. Intel's headed to the downside. It was 51. Yeah,
But I thought we were talking about the hitting streak.
no, the hitting streak was that, but he retired in 51. That was the year Mantle came in the league. Look, there's a bit of a seller here on Tesla at 265. So I don't know how good this is going to be if we get back to 260. I think we might have missed the long on Tesla, but it's now double wick 265. And I look up and there was
Apple's going to go down.
serious action here up top where the sellers were coming into Tesla. I still haven't gotten a firm, which was part of the short plan. I'm stepping it down a little bit to 48.4 and just giving it to this 48.65. Not a lot of action to be able to get into this short. So Intel's still looking good. By the way, Intel has these guys walking the order down every now and then. Like you can see them in the book when it comes in. And you'll see, there you go. There's one of them at 150,000 shares. We've seen a couple more since the 80 level. As they tick down, if I see them stop, I might punch a little bit out on Intel. But still nothing on Tesla for me. Still nothing on Affirm to the short side. And AMD, I said I didn't want to look at it because I might be angry with myself. I'm not. AMD still has yet to do anything with the 93 level except a bit of a bounce. I think it's got a pretty nasty gap fill. If it loses 93, I think AMD could see $90.
All right, just getting frustrated with Apple now because it's not doing anything. It keeps on bouncing off this 208, and I was just saying to myself, this is probably a long now. It's just, we've gotten out a couple times there. I mean, I'm hoping that this thing falls. I mean, I'm basically getting it out for flat at this point right now. We cleaned up a little bit down there, but there it goes. Okay, so at least look, we'll stop a fail on the short, but we were starting to think that that was a problem, and we were getting out. So I'm glad that at least we talked about it a little bit before that winds up happening, because there goes Apple, now goes green on the day. So if green apples there, which is a good one for Apple, as that's now going to the upside. Google's almost lost it all as you're back to 163.50, the low of the day right now for Google. I think that's maybe worthy of a shot. Just, I mean, now it's all, that was, oh man, we nailed that Apple call without doing anything about it. Like, I don't know if you guys heard me under my breath. I was like, this is not. And then boom, straight up $1. Great out. So we'll pat ourselves on the back for the out, but not for the in. It was not a good trade. And I'm not going to sit here and be like that short was good, because we took it, we got out, and then we wind up holding probably about 70%, 75% of it to take that last little L. But small L's is what we're trying to do here on that name, that is for sure. So, all right, we could talk about Omex again. I just wanted to say 163.50, that bottom there for Google. I like that trade. So I'm actually going to try to buy a little bit right now down here in the low teens for Google and see if we can hold that 163.50 area. I do want to put some more on. I mean, I'm going to put a real position on if we can get down into there. So 163.50, let's just ride with that and then see what winds up happening down there and punch out if we break through that 163 area. So, we didn't have great luck trading Tesla immediately off the open, and I just wanted to think of maybe we've seen a little bit of a bottom now, but there goes the market. Apple's probably turning around, right? Yeah, that's okay. We still got stopped out where we did. I don't think we want to short Apple. If we're going to do anything and we're thinking about the market, it should be shorting the market. So the TQs, we did get blasted out of that one right there. It's come all the way back in as well. Pretty choppy early goings on now in the market. So maybe it's only 947. A little bit of damage done on the account, obviously, as we took that Google short, but Apple short. Here's Omex though, 180 up now 100%. So maybe if the big caps aren't working,
no halts on that.
Maybe these smaller ones will. Oh man, there goes Apple. There goes the TQs, man, all the way back in. So well, no way I was holding that.
Yeah, there's a curl coming in here for sure. We just got VWAP reloaded again. At some point, Intel might just stop holding VWAP and break this out and break that 20 level. For now, it's looking okay. I am into Affirm for the first time. This was just a double top setup here in Affirm. Tried to get some on the way back down. These wicks are nuts on Affirm. It wasn't as liquid as we're thinking. I'm not getting out till we get anything beneath VWAP. And if it breaks that 48.65, I'm also jumping away from that bad boy. Tesla's catching a bid.
Oh, good.
I look over, the future's going down. I'm like, okay, Tesla, 260 yet? 260 yet? No, we're still going higher on Tesla. Just did not want to be buying anything at the top. I thought 260 was
go gadget.
258's where you're wrong. So I'm going to sit this one. I'm not going to buy these highs. Let's stick with the idea that I'm looking for some shorts in here until proven otherwise. If we don't close a candle above VWAP on the NASDAQ, then I don't want to chase any long trades just yet.
All right. Yeah, we're chasing a little bit of a long trade here with Google. We just tapped out a little bit there for 25 cents. I told you, I mean, our average price now is 60s. I told you we were going to put on a real position down here at 50. So that gave us a little bit of a better average price. But again, that's just 20 cents to the upside. All right, Reuters is reporting something about tariffs here, but it's just pharma tariffs. Not huge, not a huge note here. So, all right, so we'll wait there to see what's going on with that. But at the end, we still have 9:50 right now. At 10 o'clock, we do have Michigan. So we'll wait to see about Michigan sentiment coming through at 9 o'clock. The University of Michigan consumer sentiment expected 50.5 right there for that. So we'll wait on it. I still want to go short though the market at some point. I really feel like we got a little bit. Not duped out of that, but it was a nice move early. Sometimes we should be waiting a little bit, and then I'd feel a little stronger about some of these positions, that's for sure. One thing that we haven't looked at yet was NVIDIA, which is kind of surprising. That's still doing not much, right back into the 200 period. Now we'll see if it can get going back. Okay, here goes Google right now. Google's cranking lower right now. Probably some bad news with regards to Google. Let's go over to Adair and find out.
I'm not saying anything on Google, but I do want to provide a little bit more context here on that trade story. So basically what happened here is apparently a report that was commissioned by the industry's U.S. trade group actually shows that pharma tariffs would increase U.S. production costs and reduce competitiveness of U.S. drug export. So it basically sounds like, I guess, an industry group in the pharma space commissioned this report, the report showing that apparently pharma tariffs would not necessarily be good because they would lead to higher production costs and reduce competitiveness of U.S. drug exports. Now, of course, as an industry commissioned report, there's a little bit of bias here, but interesting note there, that's what's happening. And that is if the tariffs would be at 25%. So yeah, it would lead to apparently increased drug costs of about $51 billion every year. Back to you.
Yeah, that's not
a lot
nothing.
Of drug costs.
That's not nothing at all. But again, commissioned by, well, the report's going to say what you want it to say when you're the ones that commission it. So, you know, always take that with a grain of salt. That's a good point you mentioned about who commissioned the report. The new trade, okay, I'm not in it yet, but you can see Alibaba. It didn't get to 121.4, the overnight high, but it just did a lower high off of 120. That's the other level we've liked for a couple of days on Baba.
Man, I was saying I don't like Google
trying to grab this one underneath this 120, give it to the top. It's already broken trend. Play would be back into VWAP. Show you, not going to chase that. I'll just hopefully just get hit on the offer in front of the 80s. Intel, still the same thing. Holding VWAP, but it has not done no future flushes here yet on Intel. We're still looking to bid into the 60 level and then down at that 1957. So same plan of action over there. Market's coming down. I mean, Tesla's no longer holding. See that's selling up there at 65. Tesla's coming down here. Yeah, we're coming down on Tesla. I think we're going to get a test of that 260 level for sure. Going to get the VWAP any second now. Alibaba, I guess I did not get filled there. Still going to leave it in. It's at 77. I'm offering 81, so I think I have a good chance of getting filled. And Intel just got hit on the bid for the first time in a bid. Chill Vibe saying Meta might go red. Yikes.
Yikes. Yeah, everything.
I haven't looked at Meta today. Where is Meta? 535. Oh, wow. Not a green candle in sight for Meta. Yeah.
Well, because of Google.
This market's not holding up.
Yeah, I mean, Google, Meta got shot up due to Google, basically. So no surprise there. We lost enough money trying to go long on Google, so we eventually just went short once it broke through that 163. We don't have the greatest price, though, because we didn't make our mind up until later. We're short at 162.60 right here on Google, so we'll have to wait to see if that wants to go. Our best fills, though, is in the 40s right now, right here. So maybe we get a little bit lower than this, and that would be fine by moi if that can happen. And, you know, too bad. I didn't like, and I was saying that today, like I didn't like Google, and yet we still sit there and wonder why we're trading it to the long side. But, okay, just got a little bit noise action there. We still wait for that in consumer Michigan.
So I have the news did we read the news on INQ?
No.
Okay, so INQ secured $22 million deal with EPB, establishing quantum networking hub in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Attaboy. Cam Ward season.
Shout out to the SEC, which I'm not a fan of. Tennessee's in the, wait a minute.
Shout out to Cam Ward. They're in the AFC West.
Yeah, I like the Titans. Anyways, I'm a Big Ten guy, so let's leave Tennessee alone. They don't produce very good pro-ready quarterbacks. Throw that out there.
Get down, Google, man. We're trying to make a little bit back here.
All right, so the market's starting to come back in. Why is there? Oh yeah, it was a bit of a buyer at 75 on Intel. I'm looking for lows here. I want VWAP, and then I want 47.6 on a firm, and then we'll try to let it fly. Intel's doing the same thing as before, where you're getting 19.8 to 19.65 and not much more. The early flush was the only big move so far in Intel, although it is working back into the downside. So we'll continue to hold on to that. I never got that Alibaba. Unfortunately, I didn't move the order. Still trying to get picked up here. I've got my stop in place at the high of the day. So on this next little push, if I don't get filled in the 80s, I might just step into the 70s so we can get into this short for the first time, actually.
Yeah, we're in a couple different shorts right now. We're in the TQs again, and we're into Google. Watching out for Google 163.6. Oh, that's the TQs. Sorry. Anyways, new position right there. Here's Google right now. We're trying to find out about this. Right up to here, 164.50. I mean, we just reshorted it, so it's been a nice move down right here today for Google. I hope that I'm not a little bit too late to this party. So who knows? Google right now short at 162.73 is basically right here. Right now, right here, right now. Let's see if we get a move down into 162.50 and just start to cover, because we do have a reload now. So any kind of a drip down, we do have more shares, so we'd like to take that out if it does come in. I don't know if the short is right, but it's bled pretty nice right here off the open, and we did try to catch that falling knife right there, and we said that didn't work on Tesla a couple days ago, and it's not really working today on Google either. So yeah, some of these names, like yesterday we didn't get too much fade. We had a good report from when IBM actually made a little bit back. What was the big tech? Oh, we had ASML, we had LCRX, Texas Instruments,
TXN and Lam. Those were the
yeah.
TXN was a beast, absolute beast yesterday.
What is that Google level?
This is actually holding up pretty decently, I believe. Yeah, so TXN is actually holding up, not doing anything. It's not a day trading stock, but you want to see the strong names continue to hold some strength. Seriously, Tesla? Tesla doesn't want 260.
It's a little frustrating here.
Yeah, it's not getting down to that 260 level. It feels like we're still going to still be thinking short. There's your topping tail candle on the NASDAQ. I'll zoom in so you can see this better. That's much better for you guys. There's your topping tail candle. There's VWAP. We've just rejected it a couple times.
I'm too short everything.
I still think that means you're looking for some shorts. I just got filled on Alibaba, though. The downside of Alibaba short is, remember, the Chinese stocks don't have to do what the U.S. stocks do.
Right.
In a general sense, tech is tech, but if we break these highs, I'll recognize that maybe BABA's too strong. Just come to the chart for a second, because BABA is above yesterday's highs.
Come on, Google.
It's just a bit of a trend reversal. Stop at the high, want to get out some in front of VWAP, and then lower. At least, same thing happening over on Intel. That one's looking okay underneath the volume weighted average price. I see people talking about CoreWeave, Palantir gone.
Yeah.
Up or down?
Well, up, but it's 109.
Palantir's not gone. Look at that. That's a chop fest on Palantir. In an uptrend, that's a chop fest. But it is upward trending. So yeah, it's relatively strong here on Palantir. You might have one. Not much is trending up that I can see out of the U.S. tech, at least for now.
No, okay. not quite yet. Okay, so just still here. We did average into Google. I'm going to give it to 163.50. I don't want to take another 75-cent hit here, but unfortunately, just have not been doing well on this earnings name today. We really nailed Intel to the short side for sure. And Google's been definitely a tough take. That is for sure for me here today. So we'll wait to see if it does come back in. We'll try to take a little bit off here in and around 163, but pretty tough one there for me on Google today as we went long, and now we're stuck short right here. Not even right here, below, right? We're stored at 85. So if this goes through 50, let's just get out. We do have that number in 2 minutes, so yeah. And also we have to deal with the futures as well. Like if that number comes out and it's a bad one, I'm gonna try to get stopped out if we break through. I was thinking about VWAP right there, which is 52.02. So that's gonna be another play. Obviously, I'm not just gonna keep talking about Intel. We've been on that name and we're still on it. So we'll wait to see what happens there with Intel. Been getting out of that short and been doing pretty good on that. So here's our only real winner today, Intel on the reload short. For me, I'm talking about because we have Google. We had Apple short as well. 208. This one is kind of like a whatever. A little bit mad because it's under now where we had shorted, and instead I flipped over to Google. So if we just stuck with our Apple idea short, we would be in the money now and probably comfortable. So right now, uncomfortable with this Google short as it's trying to get back through some key levels again. We sort of just got rinsed out down there. We did cover some of the short. It's just right now we're in the short and it's going higher. So we can't win when that winds up happening. But now 1 minute away from the number coming out. So yeah, more covers on Intel as you can see, and waiting for those other plays. OMEX, just another quick look on this one. It's fallen back in quite nicely off of that 180 mark. I don't know if that's going to be the top or not today, but you've respected VWAP a bunch of times. So OMEX maybe at 150 could be something to jump right into if that's your style. My eyes are still on this Google. I feel like once this number is released, I'm going to get stopped out anyways. It's going to wick up and down here. So it's almost number time in 30 seconds. All right, let's just go over now then, yeah, so we can get it with Adara.
There's also a smaller cap earnings play on watch, FLG, about a $6.5 billion market cap to watch out here for. But of course, let's get to these numbers. University of Michigan consumer sentiment, we're expecting 50.5 versus 50.8 previous. 5-year inflation expectations, we're expecting 4.4%, in line with the previous print of 4.4. 1-year inflation, 6.8% expected. Let's see what we get. Okay, consumer sentiment higher than expected, 52.2 versus 50.5 expected. 5-year inflation continuously in line, so again, 4.4%. And then we get 1-year inflation a little bit lower than expected here. That's going to be 6.5% versus 6.8% expected. So again, lower than expected 1-year inflation expectations, higher than expected University of Michigan consumer sentiment, generally perceived as a positive sign for this market. And look at that, we get a pop to the upside for the NASDAQ, though it is still struggling a little bit here right now with that 467.5 level. We have to talk about all of these situations here in China with trade tensions, lots of uncertainty as to whether or not President Xi has called President Trump of the U.S. But either way, keep an eye out for any trade-related talk because it has been market moving. Lots of earnings on watch here. T-Mobile to the downside despite a double beat. We have Skechers missing on sales. They did beat on EPS. So SKX, TMUS, just two of the many earnings names we have in watch today. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Back to you.
All right, so yeah, got blown out there to the upside. Nice number, I guess. Bad for the short.
They like it, so.
Yeah, bad for the short. So another fail on that Google short as it just blasts through one more time. So bye-bye, Google, all the way to the upside there. 164 and change now. Just blew up. So we shorted it there. You know, we'll lose that 50 cents or whatever it was there on Google. You know, we got some out as that was going, but it just kept on going. So no outs or no ins for us there on that as we wait. Intel's really not doing anything. That just might be the short.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, I don't know. And then here goes Apple, now green on the day. Like Apple was against the market all day. Now it's there. Palantir might be the trade at 110. I don't know. I mean, another huge day for Palantir today. So, wow, that's going. And then now probably Meta, probably straight to the upside as well now as Google's really retraced back up to 164. No, not really. So maybe we do have something there with Meta v. Google. But there it is right now. Google right back up to VWAP. It's too bad that we were looking long and then short, right, basically at the opposite times. We should be going the other way. So 164 and change right now for Google. Looks like that consumer number helped it out.
Yeah, it definitely did. You're above the volume weighted average price. Two things are somehow not breaking higher. Baba's holding the 120, but I still want to get some out in front of VWAP before we do any celebrations on that. And then affirm on the number, hey man, it's consumer number, what are you going to do? I got insta-filled, tried to get right back out in front of VWAP. It snapped right back to the upside. Told you I'm not giving it past this lower high. We break that top, we'll take our first L, but it might not be the last because Intel could still go, Baba could still go, and Tesla is going. So, you know, you never seem to, I guarantee this will be the lesson of the day. Always stick to the original plan on Tesla because it held that 260 pretty cleanly. I thought we were weak enough to get back in there, but if this number is going to take us the other direction, I think we have to respect the strength that we're seeing overall here in Tesla. Just have to find a better entry or some kind of an entry to this long because above 260 is what we wanted. It's above 260, but I'm not in it yet.
Yeah, we're the anti-hero today, that is for sure, as the market does not cooperate the way that I was hoping it would. Thinking short early, right? And I mean, It's actually been fine. It's just not the right names for me and not the right times. And now we might have the right time. We're short Google now at 164. But I mean, too many cuts at the end of the day. We're going to wait to see if it can come back now. Good position. I mean, we have a decent spot on right now. We're making back about 25% right now of this trade. There we go. Give me those. That's me at 37, by the way. That's me sitting, okay. I was using NASDAQ gateway there and maybe never again, as it basically stopped completely on a dime and then had to finally break through it. So
you always said you were an ARCA guy.
I know. I don't know why I pushed. I basically pushed. I don't know why. But it was just coming back in there. So now I'm going to be sitting on ARCA at 163.20 right there. Nice pushback. Let's go. Bang. No? Did we get it? Yes, we got it. Okay, see? And that's, again, I was on ARCA there. I didn't even think we got it, and we did. So, I don't know, 163.20 right there. We grabbed that off of that trade. So, nice push now back down to the downside for Google. It had to sort of get out weak hands there, and I guess that was me at the top. But we got out at 163.50 break, so now we're back in. It's 50 cents in the money. I'm going to take one more piece out here in the 50s and see if this can get back down. But yeah, so far, not a great day for me here, shorting and long Google back and forth into that play. So yeah, we'll just keep looking at for other things there. BABA might be a good play. I don't know what's going on with China.
We'll see about that. It's leveling off a little bit on BABA. It still can't seem to break away from that 120. I haven't moved the stop. I haven't moved my take profit targets or anything like that.
Honestly.
And if you're wondering, hey, why do we like BABA at 120? I don't know, because the market's telling me there. But if this breaks the high, there's still 121.40 on Alibaba. I still like it underneath that price. I'm not going to bother showing you guys Intel because that's like the one short. Fundamentally, they had a bad Q, all that kind of good stuff, and it's holding VWAP. But Affirm bounced VWAP and took out the high. I'm out. You know, I'm not going to fight. You don't want to fight with a squeeze type name. It's not the kind of name you want to fight with. It breaks my level. I'm out when it breaks that top. OMEX has bounced off VWAP. That's not a very impressive bounce off the volume weighted average price right now. So there's a little buying going on here. I'd worry if it loses 150. And if it did, I think it might be a gift if we get anywhere close to that $1 level, because that was the good price in the morning to everyone that was asking about it. Tesla, I don't want breakouts in this market, so I'm not taking a 265 break, despite the fact all the selling was up there. Still want to get a good setup. If it's not 60, it's the volume-weighted average price buy, and then try to hold on to this trend line that you've been making in Tesla. So looking at that, looking at VWAP, see if we can finally get into it. Intel's about 10 cents in the money, but it's trending down off of the volume-weighted average price. So that's looking, see that? Like we didn't get that last reload because we're in other stuff. Silly. You could just short this at VWAP all day long and scalp it. That's the one short that's just been working the whole way, possibly because they're the company that absolutely screwed the pooch on earnings. So why wouldn't it be? Bye-bye, Tesla. Thing's a rocket today. Tesla's
been great. I mean, we sort of warned about where we thought Tesla could go if they beat. Yeah, I mean, we not if they beat, just period. There's been so much negativity about that name. Nice to see Tesla doing its own thing there today. Okay, yeah, Palantir. We talked about that earlier. Some people want to look at it. Yeah, 110. I was debating putting the bid to go through there.
110.
Yeah, we. It's amazing. Like we were $91 long on this 4 days ago. And now it's just monstrous move up on no news at all. Like Palantir just goes with the market. It's one of the names that just keeps getting bought up. There's a huge army underneath this thing, and it just goes. Like I'm really glad to be invested in this name. That is for sure. Although not trading it here today. So yeah, rest in peace to Tesla bulls or bears. So right now, bulls definitely today in charge of the EV space. Okay, AMD back up to today's high again, trying to break out through 95. You know, that would be that high right there for a nice little level to look at. If you're going to be short on anything, maybe it's this name is the right one today, as we're short now. AMD down 0.3 against the market that's up and trying to get higher right now. We've left the TQQs alone. I do still feel like a short today at some point, but whatever I feel like doesn't matter. I had honestly thought
IonQ's open and going nuts.
Is it IonQ? What was the story again?
It was a $22 million.
Okay.
Shoot, I had it a second ago. It's now completely.
You're not wrong about it going.
It was a $22 million deal with EPB establishing, Chattanooga, Tennessee as a networking.
Right.
This might halt. Oh no, it's not quite at a halt band. It would have to get to like 31, 32, but it opened back up at 29.4, tested 31 even. Let's go to Adara. IonQ absolutely flying here.
More comments here coming from the U.S. Trade Representative's office. We know earlier U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer had said that they are in talks with South Korea. They're set to have more talks, or I guess some technical talks next week. Now we have the USTR saying that they're engaged with Japan and other nations that they don't name here in substantive technical talks, improving reciprocal trade. So lots of trade discussions happening here, according to the USTR. Back to you.
Yes.
Yeah, not good for my shorts here if they're going to start talking about tariffs and trade and all that in a positive light, that's for sure. But it's great for the market. I mean, yeah, yay for that. Nay for me. But yeah, so far here we did average in. I mean, look at IonQ. There's what Neil was just talking about there on the reopen, an absolute monster all the way there to the upside. Still lots of room to go on this name. So we could still get back into this 40 to 45 area pretty simply at any time. I mean, you just saw a nice move up there now, 10%. So there goes IONQ, looking like it wants to take out that 3150. Maybe we just punch long and join the party here on IONQ and just not worry about what the market's doing here, as it looks like we got in and we got out and we're back in. And this okay, there it goes on Google. We actually made money on this and we just averaged some more back and we got some more back out, but Google does look like it wants to take this top out at 164.50 now. So there goes Google back up that 3%. Good day for them today for sure as it continues higher. This could be a good trade. Short, we've talked about Apple trying to get short today. Doesn't really look like it wants to, but you know, against that 209, we could see something there, but the market just keeps on going higher now. And I mean, looking at the TQs, breaking through the pre-market levels easily. We got to get over here. This is AM, like 5 a.m. So, you know, back up through 19.9 now. No, sorry. 19.4 was that high that we just bounced off of. So, you know, looking at something there, I may short Apple against 209, just thinking the market maybe tops out, but
well, it's that SPY 20. At this point, it's the SPY 550 that I think you're putting in the sights. It's still there's still a lot of room for it to get there. That's the problem. Like, there's a lot of room for it to get there. Oh, it just got hit on the Alibaba. Just actually finally hit the bid. So it did double. It actually double topped here. I tried to get some. So it double topped at 120.25. That's where the stop is. I tried to get some on the way back down through 120 and missed. Through the order a little bit more aggressively and still didn't get it. I need this to break volume weighted average price so it can do what Intel is doing. Like, at least these two are going down. Affirm is still blowing it out, so that's an L. Hopefully Baba can break VWAP and that'll be okay. And Tesla, I guess 270, I suppose. Yeah, we're just going to 270 now. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. We're not picking it up at 260 when you put it on your note at 260, and then we're going to 270 on Tesla. This is the 50 on the 50 SMA on Tesla here on the daily. So respect to it. You would think it's resistance, but I'm not sure anything that's upward trending. I don't think you want to be short it unless it's showing signs of weakness until the SPY actually tests the 550 level. Like, if we're going to break away, that's that spot. You heard Brian Shannon, of course, talking about it, and then we had Michael Noss reiterating that same point, and Sean as well. So if it's super strong and you're not getting any dips, I wouldn't be trying to short anything until we at least get close to the 550 level. Oh, also Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin's at 95. Check that, 94.9, and IBIT's breaking out the high. This is huge resistance on Bitcoin. It just feels so trappish right now to try to put in any longs. That's a weekly chart. I got to show you the daily. There you go, daily chart. We are right on the line on the daily. Feels a bit trappish to try to punch this long on a Friday. So for now, Baba's working. That's a big for now. And Joe is excited about Bitcoin, I'm assuming.
Yeah, just broke through 95.
There
so
it is, 95 just broke now.
Yeah, we like that. We like that IBIT play. We liked Bitcoin now going. The whole market's going. We're not short anything. Well, we're short Intel, but we do have a lighter position on that one. There goes IBIT, just gapped through $54 right there. There's the take of the day's high. Nice move, breaking through 95,000. Will it hold that? Looks like it, right? Momentum in the market is nicely up. Anybody that did not buy the dips, you did not buy the dips. What's going on, Adara?
Keep in mind, this is very, very highly speculative and not at all confirmed, but there is some, I guess I'm seeing this report circulate here from junekangco.uk. This is an article that is not in English, but basically, I guess after denying that there's any contact between China and the U.S., there's some reports that Chinese high-ranking officials are visiting the U.S. Treasury Department in person. So not only are there calls, there's this one outlet here, again, it looks like it was written in Mandarin, saying that they actually had a Chinese high-ranking official visiting the U.S. Treasury Department in person. I want to clarify, this is highly speculative. This is not a news source I have heard of, but some reports circulating on X, at least worth noting here, that a high-ranking Chinese officer visiting the U.S. Treasury Department. Highly speculative. I really want to put that out there. Back to you.
Well, I mean, as another positive story, I guess, if you're looking for the trade.
That would be a good story.
Catch those trade wins right now, thanks to Dara. So, once we see this gentleman or female enter said White House or wherever he is going, that will be key. So we'll wait to see that. I'm just upset because we should have had Apple short. This was the name that we were looking for the short all day. We grabbed it there. We've got in and out of Google, and it's just been a disaster because we were long, then we were short. I'm still thinking about Google short if we break through VWAP right here again. So that's 35. So I do want to push that short and then give it to, I was thinking about sort of that pre-top right there, 65 or so for a level there on Google. So that would be something that I want to have a quick look at if we do wind up doing that move. So that would be Google right now, trying to break a little bit through VWAP. That's a trade that I'm looking to make right now on Google. So hopefully that will be able to come in for us and we can run that short. Just give it, maybe even if we just give it back to 50s, we're trying to play momentum down because the momentum down, not on iBit, sorry, on Apple was a good one there as well. If you just played that to the downside, you've got a decent break. But right now, there goes, as Joe was excited there goes iBit back there to the upside. We will talk about some of the more crypto-related names, obviously, when we get to that. I'm losing my voice already, which doesn't make any sense. There goes Google right back again, upside. So, yeah, I don't know if we're going to break VWAP or not, man. I mean, for right now, I think it's a wait-and-see moment as the market at the highs and just trying to figure itself out.
Bitcoin at 90.
Nothing. Yeah,
just to go over, because I know we're going to have in 15 minutes the segment, but it doesn't matter.
No.
Bitcoin just went 95.1. MSTR is doing what you'd expect. 33.65, up 4.5%. I went over to see what Mara was doing. A whole lot of nothing and failing the high, and then I remembered if you have a big level, leave it up. And I like 14.4 on Mara. If we lose 95,000, why are you not breaking the high on Mara? And if we hold 95,000, then Mara should just be a breakout. If we just keep going higher, trending higher from the 95,000 level on Bitcoin as it's trying to come back, then this should be a breakout. You can play it in the reverse. But I'm not in it yet. Just gonna stick to the ones that are not breaking out. Or what you have to work with. So I eventually got that fill in the high 90s on Alibaba. It's not breaking the top. It's trying to break underneath VWAP. If it does, I'm going to get some out at 119. And Intel, I wish I could tell you it's doing more. I'm a little bit surprised that this is the amount of action it's having since that open. It's a short off the volume weighted average price into the same 1965 low, which why bid underneath it? Take the out at the level, and if it breaks that, it's going to flush. But this is a descending wedge into a flat bottom. If it doesn't break, Intel could fly with the rest of the market. I think that goes without saying. So just be a little cautious. I'm not sitting on the offer at VWAP for a reload on Intel because it's either coiling to break down and see 1950 or it's going to rip our faces off. So I just got another leg out. I now only have 20% left because I feel that's a safe thing to do in a market that's been showing us some strength.
Yeah, good one there. I still have not a decent amount, about 20, 25% of that trade. So we'll wait to see if it does want to work out. Google does break down now, so we do have that short. Let's just see. I do want to give this back a little bit. So if it does continue to go down, good for us. I want to see now if the market fades. We do have... I have a water here. We do have that short. It's going to be crazy because we have, again, it's umpire training tonight, which thank God I don't have to be a part of. And then it's Girls' Day at High Park tomorrow, where all the girls in the league come through, and then we have tryouts for the team. I'm going to be.
I have a
suggestion. I need to get it. It might be raining, by the way. Yeah, go.
Before you go to umpire training, just watch The Naked Gun. That's all. And you fast forward to the final and just watch Frank Drebin do his magic. Best umpire in the history of the universe.
Right, I'll get her to do that, or the Savannah Bananas, if you've heard of those guys.
That dude's legit.
I mean, I don't want Gia to be dancing around there. She might kind of look like a fool, but
shout out to him. You can't get tickets to them, man. It's insane.
Yeah, they're now going to be. I think it's called Banana Ball or something. They're going to be on Disney Plus.
I love.
There's a league.
We wanted to go watch them. It's the lottery system,
right?
To get tickets.
Yeah,
and then they're not coming to Buffalo this year, so that would have been the closest. Shout out to Savannah Bananas. Hey, Savannah Bananas.
What up?
My daughter loves you guys. Would love you to come to Canada and play. That'd be awesome. Just saying.
That's Savannah Bananas. Get your asses over here.
So finally, okay, so Baba just filled 19.6, so we were able to get this scalp trade going on. This is one of the only things. It's not flushing, but it's at least working off that 120 level over and over again, so we'll keep playing it in front of VWAP till it eventually breaks. Tesla broke 270 because it's a monster, and it's Tesla's world and we're living in it.
Yeah.
But look at that little topping tail candle. I think this could be the curl where we start heading back into said downside. I got to go over. Affirm was the loser for me. It didn't get to $50. Bounced VWAP, didn't get to 50, broke out that local high. If it had been 50, I'd probably take a second shot at it, but not doing it for sure. And Danker, you're right, they're crazy expensive tickets.
Are they?
But I think relatively speaking,
Yeah, I've never looked.
That being said, my daughter absolutely loves them. She's the reason I took my daughter to the Globetrotters when they came. I told her she loves basketball too. Like, these guys are Savannah Bananas before there was a thing. So if they come anywhere near Toronto, I have to go. I don't have a choice. It's just happening. They're just not this year. Palantir also breaking trend potentially. So if you're looking at Pale TR, I don't know if this is the one. Let's stick with the two that have been working this morning. But it's breaking trend right now here on Palantir. One of the strongest names you're going to see out there for sure. Let's see if we can actually get some of these shorts to break through and head downside.
Yeah, I'm trying to wait for the same thing too, right here on my friend, not today, Google, trying to get that short. Yeah, no, I'm of the thought now that I don't even care what ticket prices cost, because if you want to go, you got to pay to play. It's one of those things now where it's like, I mean, I do care. I hate, I hate the way experiences are going. They're getting really, really expensive, to do anything, a concert, a sporting event, museums, anything. Like, everything's getting to be quite expensive, but that's the world.
What you remember.
That's what I'm saying. That's why, to me, it doesn't matter.
Older,
yeah, it doesn't matter.
I can remember when my dad took me to see the Harlem Globetrotters.
Right.
I don't remember where we were. I can remember being in the stands and enjoying it with my dad. That's it. And then, of course, they beat the Generals.
What?
Can you imagine dude? The whole time when it was close, because they do it so well.
And you have no idea, right, as a kid.
And when you're a kid, you don't know what's going to happen. When I watched it as an adult, and it was a close game at the end, but at the same time, dude could have still muffed the last bucket.
Yeah.
They could have screwed up. And then you could have been
risky.
at the game where they lost, and that ticket would be worth something, although it's digital now, so who cares? Let's go to Adara. It is time for the small cap recap.
Small cap, no cap.
Yeah, like they hoisted
small caps are super consolidated here. This is the IWM 15-minute chart. As you can tell, we have basically been trading in a very tight range all day. Slightly red on the day, though, is the IWM. CISQ, Canadian Solar, really strong today. No news that I could find on this one. About a 24% short float, though, for CISQ. Or CSIQ, sorry. Then we have OMEX. This is basically the biggest small cap of yesterday. Today, pretty strong as well, especially pre-market. Yesterday, we had Reuters reporting that President Trump was going to be signing some deep-sea mining-related executive orders last night. Those did end up coming to fruition. So OMEX here, as Donald Trump signs some deep-sea mining executive orders, OMEX does have about a 7% short float. Last but not least, FLG with about a 15% short float, if I remember correctly here. Flagstar Financial, this one's a little bit of a larger market cap, about $6 billion, but they did have a double beat for their earnings. Back to you.
Okay, come on, man. Whatever, dude. You. Double thumbs up, or middle fingers up to you, not thumbs up, thumbs down for Google. We're now $1 in the money, man. Whatever. I got out of too many shares. I had multiple hundreds of shares up there, and it just, I covered it because I was like, I haven't been reading this properly. It's all good, man. It's all good. We made back half our day right there on this trade, so we're all good, man. Oh, gosh. Woo, you had that too, Wayne? Or no, I don't know what he's talking about there, but these shorts finally now starting to come in. Oh, boy. It's great, man. It's great. This is a great trade. I have nothing to complain about other than the fact that we did empty our clip a little bit too early. I had the most shares I've ever, probably, and it was revenge trading, basically, on Google there. the thing is that once I saw this top right there, finally we were able to do something. Like I thought this was a top as well, which is why we went short there. Then it came out, then eventually it blew out and we got out. And then finally right into there, 165, we just took it for what it's worth. And then now it's starting to rain down. So we're really happy with this. But unfortunately, I only have just under half left. So I'm going to take the advantage of this now and get it out. This is $1.70 in the money. Look, it's going to be a good trade, whatever. I had 700 shares up there. I'll tell you what it is. And, you know, we're still not even going to be positive on it. But we're making a lot back, so let's see where it goes. If I just covered it all, that would have been one thing. But it's a nice trade there for Google. It is making its way down right now. And, yeah, that's decent. So, unfortunately, still waiting for a move down. That might have been it. We just got from top to bottom there on the NASDAQ. So good move back in. And yeah, decent spot there for Google. But whatever, man. I mean, I could have made it all back. So we'll wait now. We'll cover a little bit more and see if we can continue to fly lower here on this name. But damn you, Google. That could have just been a decent trade there. And still was. But hopefully that will come back in. It's only 10.
It's only 10:20. Oh, in a weird...
I did ask for a reload from Randy, by the way.
In a weird circumstance, yeah, I could use a cut. Hopefully he brings one for me as well.
I did. I said reload.
In a weird circumstance, we just broke VWAP on Baba. Was about $1 in the money. It bounced off 119. Okay, fine. It went 120. It's been working the whole way and bounces off the even dollar. If we close under VWAP, I can look for ads there, but I'm looking for 118.5. But while that was happening, Intel's trying to break above VWAP.
Is it?
Oh, well, this wick is the problem.
It's too focused on this.
There you go. And you can see that range, that 1965, and we took out 80% of it down into it. Well, it's trying to break above the volume weighted average price. I don't want this getting all the way to 20 on me and then just holding it. So I'm slapping a tight stop on Intel and looking for the next available entry, which might be in front of that $20 level on INTC. I swear that wick wasn't there before at the open. It's just gonna be weird to look at it, but there you go. I'm gonna give this to about 85. If it breaks that, we'll look for the actual top up here at 19.9. So the Chinese names seem to be looking a bit weak. The ES and the NASDAQ are trying to break the bottom. I did double check to see if Tesla and all of that were at 60s, but it doesn't. Tesla's still way up here at 270. That's just a weird one, man.
Oh my God, damn. Oh well, we got it, we nailed it. Thank you for everybody in the chat. I think we had some fun there for sure. Okay, now we're starting to break lower on Google. That was, yeah, no, Neil talked about this yesterday, I think, and we both did. And he talked about, remember, upping the share size when something's working, and then the next day it doesn't work type of thing. And then you get caught, and then when it does work, I feel like sometimes you don't have enough shares. So that's kind of why I put on some shares up there.
I want to finish because it's an important thought.
Yeah. That's why I'm going.
If you have a strategy that you're working on, it's like, okay, boom, boom, and then you're like, okay, it's now working. I'm going to go up, whatever it might be, 20%, 50%, whatever you do. The first day you trade it, obviously you're working with a different risk parameter, but you've made a level jump. If it doesn't work that first day, it's going to really, really suck. And you'll end up holding more against you or just losing more than you have been in the last previous month or whatever it might be. But you still have to, you made the move up because of what happened for like weeks before, so you can't just take the L and then go back down in size is what I was getting at.
Yeah. That's the thing.
It's just that, remember the Europe trade we used to do? That was exactly the problem with everybody on our floor when we used to do this Europe trade, is they'd have one bad day, and if the first day they went up in size, they had one bad day, and they would just drop size the next day, and then it would win, and then you wouldn't make it back. It's like, you can't do that. So anyways, I tighten up the stop on Intel. I'm giving it to 85. Whoops. I didn't cancel the old stop, which you have to do to put in the new stop. So I've now done that. We got a bit of a reload here at 81, so my price is like 80 and a third. It doesn't really matter exactly, but if we break 85, I'm out. This needs to get back to the low. I think we hold till 70, in front of 70. It's just a channel here that eventually, if it breaks, I don't like the fact that the market's at the low and Intel's at the high-ish. So it's kind of doing the opposite here. It needs to play some catch-up and do it really quickly. Otherwise, that makes absolutely no sense.
Dude, I almost needed you here to revive me.
Well, Apple's flushing. I don't know why Tesla is so incredibly strong right now.
Where's Bo Bandy?
Get it, Tesla. Tesla I should be short this thing because of this trend reverse. Like 9 times out of 10, you're short here at 270.5 on Tesla looking for the retracement into VWAP. is just so darn strong. There he is.
Randy, tell me there's some whiskey in that coffee. Please tell me there's some whiskey in that coffee.
Bourbon, dude, all day.
All right. Cheers.
Bourbon all day. Bourbon all day.
Hope this is the strongest ass coffee I've. That's good.
I feel like mine tastes funny.
Oh, does yours? Me too. I try to clear the foam to see, but yeah, mine does have almond milk in it, so.
Yeah, mine.
Did he put? Is yours supposed to be straight?
No. It has like a.
Does he know you by
I'm trying
now?
to describe it. It's like a
so sometimes
soapy taste.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Sometimes,
don't drink it then. Sometimes the the machine will have just gotten cleaned, and maybe you'll have the.
It's happened before.
Yours probably got poured first, and then you got the. Mine tastes solid. You can tell Bo Bandy again. Okay, so here we go, man. This is a monster move, guys. We are now $2. Like, obviously, if we still had that 600-700 shares, we'd be cruising now. But we're getting lighter and lighter into this position as it continues to go down, obviously. But yeah, top to bottom there on Google. We did trade our strategy. We did like the short. It's just VWAP was tricky there, and For me, I should not have been this silly about it because on earnings, the plays don't necessarily have to line up exactly the way you think they are. There's going to be the push and pull because there's options and there's everything involved with all of that. Wow, that could have been a week maker if we had just sort of held, not a week maker, but definitely could have helped out with that. Look, we called this tank as well on Apple. It's now below I'm going to be red on this stock, but it is now below every single level that we shorted. The short was completely right today. Look at the TQs. I mean, now at the day's low again, but your opinion on the stock only matters, or on the market, when you're doing what we're doing anyways. It's just important that, you have your targets in mind and you do have risk management. And, I do want to talk about all kind of different stocks, and we'll look at them as we're talking, but you don't want to get blown out right there. And I almost did. I didn't get close to, I will not be shut down, but, like to be down $2,000 or whatever, is not a good feeling, no matter how much you average per day, and especially if you don't average $2,000 per day, right? And so you don't want to give anything back. But as Neil and we all talk about this all the time, you're here to trade, and when you make money, you look back and you're like, wow, I sized properly and that strategy worked. And then when you lose money, you look back and say, why did I do that? As long as you stick with the same logic and the same strategies both times, then really, it's the market. And that's what's going to happen. Like, the world's best poker players don't clean up every single time they step in there. But, over time, it does print, right? And right there for Google, look at this move back down. Like, we still have enough shares that we're going to be positive on Google after all of this. The turns there on Tesla, the turns on the whole freaking market. We're the ones.
Well, Tesla's very different.
Oh, Tesla's not turning. Oh, Tesla might. I like that look. Go over to Neil's screen because
this is a topping tail candle on Tesla.
I like that look.
Shoot, I missed.
Holy crap,
I missed 271.
Dude, we should be
there. Wow, look at that turn on Tesla there. It just finally broke the 271.
Is it?
And did a huge flush back through. I'm sitting at the $0.50. I chased it to 17s. Let's throw the stop in there. Got to make sure that we throw the stop through 71. Do not want to re-break 71 out. That kind of a topping tail candle with the market coming down should be flush city on Tesla. I'm trying to pick some of the half. I might just get.
That's why I have to start covering.
So let's see what happens here on Tesla. That was a pretty convincing heavy move, but it is a bit of a chase through that 71. Let's see if we can get to VWAP on Tesla. The irony, of course, is that we were liking Tesla long at 260, and our only position is going to be to short it and possibly get breaking out. Let's go over to Adara. It is time for the crypto segment, apparently. And there it goes.
We're at a very key level here for Bitcoin on the daily chart. Let me explain. We had, going back here to February, most of February, and then again in early March, we had a little bit of support resistance interplay with that area just above 95,000. Look at this push to the upside and then shoot to the downside in early March around that level. Well, today, we are pushing right into that 95,000. In fact, our high of day here, 95.3. Let's see if we can hold this level, because otherwise, the daily chart looks like a bit of a bull flag for BTC. We have this nice curl to the upside. As I mentioned earlier, we are poised for our 7th straight green day for Bitcoin. So let's see if it can give us the 7 and then maybe 8. We're also up about $10,000 here from 85 roughly to 95,000 in about the 7 days. So good look for BTC. What about some of these other crypto names? Great look for Bitcoin, as mentioned earlier. Ethereum kind of waffling around here just below that 1,800 level. XRP up about 0.5%. Solana up 3%. Doge up 3%. Cardano up 2%. So other than Ethereum, we have a lot of strength in most of these names here today, guys, in the crypto space. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Back to the guys.
City. So, well, we were 2 for 3. Now we're 2 for 4. Tesla, it was going, trust me when I tell you, that was a heck of a topping tail.
Trust me, bro.
I use a 3-minute. You have to see this on a 1 minute. I guess maybe a. Yeah, that doesn't really. 1 minute doesn't do it justice. I bet you if you put on like a 5-second or a 30-second, it'll do you a better justice. So there's your topping tail. There's the break underneath, and there's the short stop. I gave the stop to the prior high, which is probably a really good idea because the last thing you want is to actually give it to the real top. To me, if it runs that top, it's squeezing you to all death. Tesla's just meme. It's a meme stock today. It's through the 50 period when the market's at the low. I think it wants that 280 level again. So we came in thinking Tesla long. Obviously, that's going to be wrong. Well, right, I should say, but the entry is wrong. Intel's not doing anything. I meant to actually type BABA. Just to go back over to the 2 that we're still in. BABA's trying to bounce off the volume-weighted average price, but doing a pretty weak job of it. So prior support was at 119.5. It's resisting that. I don't want to jump in shorting this level when 120 is the level yet, but it's just yet. I think at some point, if it holds that trend down with the market, then I want to jump back in at a worse price. So like averaging up instead of averaging down, although with a short, I guess it kind of is averaging down.
I was going to just mention that the Google out, I think 163.50 makes a lot of sense to get out of that one. We'll leave some on the table, obviously, but yeah, we're out of a decent chunk of that trade right now, able to really get that low of the day there and start to just push that level. So that turns out to be, honestly, a jam for me right there. We're happy with it. Just again, stick with what we're doing and stick with what you're doing, I think is important. Boeing today off day 3 or day 2 play. Tesla off day 3 is ripping.
Wow.
And I mean, that's exactly, the same thing as Neil. We had wrote down 260 long on Tesla. You don't have it. And there it goes. Nice move. Boeing today as well, flat on the day. So that looks like it's going to break. I mean, this looks like it's going to break lower, right? I mean, right into here, 175.50. Nice downside play. You tell me, Fabian, I'm just waiting for it to hit. Okay, perfect. So there goes Boeing to the downside. We'll see if that one wants to continue to go lower. Any other names? OMEX. I just want to always check back on that because I know it was a really popular talk there early on this name. So not doing too much now as we do continue to barcode. But if you're looking for barcodes and you're looking for reliable charting, then why not hit up eSignal? Listen up, the first month, of course, today is free. That's right. Scan that QR code and you have your first month for free. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade your charting to an elite experience with eSignal. You get infinite data. The thing is, guys, you can chart 500 symbols at once. So if, as long as you have that computing power behind you, this charting software will be the one for you. And if not, just chart less. You work with 50 symbols. You can get it back testing, real-time back testing. You could go back right now and test the last 10 minutes. So it's called tick replay over here. They also have these great hot lists that you can see on the screen right now, giving you different ideas when different screens are hit. So, we've had different things on here, trade ideas, different scans coming through. A lot of the scans on eSignal, especially the ones that we use, are curated. So, like this hot list itself just pops up whenever something's going. So right now, Google, NVIDIA, Tesla Q. That must be the Tesla short right there. I didn't even know about that one. TSLA we know about. And then Pony. Is that someone's riding that today or what? Let me see what's going on right here with Pony. So here's another name. Like, we didn't even see this one. Look at Pony right now getting taken to the barn.
Or it's saddles waiting.
Or, yeah, you get behind that barn. Like, what's his name? Joe. Is that your name over there? Yeah, Joe just mentioned. What's up, Joe? Yeah, that was a good one, man. Take it to the barn. That's a good one out back. But Rigetti's on here as well. Googie, Sox L, Nike. What's Nike doing down 3% today? That could be another name. But anyways, I just wanted to say that this is like, I have this up. I don't have it on the screen. I mean, if I had more space, I could maybe keep it here somewhere. Maybe that's something to do. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that. You guys want me to keep this on the screen for you? That's a little free e-signal situation there.
It's great, the trade rate.
Yeah, so anyways, I have it up and I do like it. Maybe I'll try to find some screen space for you to show that. But yeah, I mean, we really love the software.
We both love it for sure. And look, I saw someone in the chat, no talk about UNH. You can't watch everything, man. It's one of those markets where never found our way into like the Tesla long. A couple of shorts have worked out, but at the end of the day, you can't cover everything. UNH is still dropping. There's your chart, down another 3%. We always talk about that 3-day, like, can you hold on to the initial bid that gets made after an earnings flush? So the answer was looking like it was going to close the week as a yes, and it's resoundingly a no right now. So I think if you're looking at UNH, it's broken through, I think 380. This is going to load up, and if it's not 380, then apologies, where the actual next bottom is. I should have. Maybe I need a weekly chart on UNH. Then I go right over to eSignal to show a weekly chart because that'll be much faster. So UNH weekly, I think it's going to be 380. Don't make me wrong. Don't make me wrong. Don't make me wrong. Yeah, $380 next support on UNH. If it doesn't hold, if it doesn't somehow magically get back above 420, I think it's got another 7 or 8% to the downside in the next coming weeks. And Tesla, by the way, is right back to $275. It's on a collision course with 280, which has been local resistance. It is pure meme stock today on Tesla. No question about it. I took my shot at the mean reversion trade. I like the setup, but obviously if you just took the long on the other side of it, you again are absolutely racing. It makes me sick to my stomach to have wanted a 260 long, and it did. False break of the low, hold of 260. That's an entry at maybe 260, 70, closer to 80 or 90, with a stop that could literally be just underneath. It's basically a dollar risk on Tesla, and maybe even less than a dollar risk on that entry for what you see in front of you. Let's go to Adara. It's time for Sector Watch.
This might be a more red board than you'd expect, given that the market is relatively flat, even leaning positive. But that's because a lot of these names that are to the upside are massive market cap players. Google, Meta, Nvidia, and Tesla, more than half of the Mag 7, really strong today. Eli Lilly, which is another pretty large market cap name, green on the day. But other than that, lots of weakness. Even balancing out Nvidia here in electronic technology, we have Apple sharply to the downside. The names that aren't green within the two tech sectors are pretty much flat. Then we've got a lot of strength here, a lot of weakness in finance, retail, trade, pretty red. Utilities a little bit weaker. Health services, as mentioned earlier, UNH down about 2.5%. Process industries weak. Communications weak with TMUS here dragging Verizon and AT&T to the downside. All three names reported earnings this week. Consumer non-durables weak. Health technology, with the exception of Lilly, also weak. Again, we're seeing earnings in these non-tech sectors really bringing this market to the downside, balancing out the tech strength to give us a basically flat trading day. Back to you.
Well, it's not a flat trading day for Tesla. It's not a flat trading day for Nvidia. Up 2%, just broke high of the day. AMD up only 0.6. Well, it broke the high of the day anyway. So that's just whatever, man. It kind of surprised me that it wasn't up more than a point. Given the strength we're seeing, it is pure meme craze happening in Tesla. But do not sleep on the chips. Obviously, they don't care how bad it is for Intel, and why should they? Because, well, I mean, it was a great quarter for Lam. At the end of the day, talks are either going on or they're not going on with China. I have no idea, but on the off chance that they are, that's going to be good for the chip sector as well. I keep staring up and wondering when we're going to get to 280 on Tesla and feel like it's going to be just a little bit. Alex Oliva, wait, Tesla is a meme stock?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so it's a better fundamental company than other meme stocks, obviously, but it still does fall. It does still fall into that kind of a category. To a certain extent. It's just a different. It's just a different player. Just look at the way that it trades when it starts to go crazy.
Yeah, I think people need to understand, like, we don't mean it in that way. Like, I think Palantir the same way. It's like once it starts going, and you know what? Here's a better name, cult stock. So I think like Tesla and
that's
Palantir are
better.
cult stocks, meaning like once they get going, there's a lot of people that have made a lot of money on these names. They know it can run. They get involved. They start to buy the calls or the puts. It goes both ways. Like you saw when Tesla was getting hit to the downside, the bears came out and they really cranked it, right? I mean, the same thing happened with Palantir, and the same thing's happening now to the bid side. So that's kind of what I think we mean, and it's just, you know, once they get going, and I've sat here, and you guys know, I've actually coined this term. I said, NVIDIA's going meme crazy. And you could tell when that starts to happen as well. It just starts to go off. And I mean, it's the bids the ask gets lifted, and it just goes. And sometimes when I'm sitting here, and I haven't traded NVIDIA in a hot minute, so I have to admit that I'm not calling this a stock like that now. But I do like NVIDIA when it starts to go hard like that. And we've seen that happen many times before. So I think we have a good chance of looking for that. All right, we did say that we were going to get out of some of Google. I actually wound up just taking out 25% once we broke through 163.60 because we got more outs as we were talking about that strategy. So we get a 162.70. This is just in the last 7 minutes. So we get one fill right there. We get another fill at 162.15. Then we get another fill at 40s. And then there's out the last quarter of what we had left. So right now we're under that 100 share mark now. So we don't have very many shares left for Google right now, and I'll just let it go. You know, hopefully we can get back to the downside. I still feel pretty strongly about breaking 164. Hi, Bianca, how's it going? So if we do break below that 164 area, then maybe we'll get a little bit more short at 164. But I still think this 164.80 right there for Google, day one earnings play has been a good one so far there. Apple short seems to be printing as well. And then we have some big runners today. OMEX is a big runner. Make sure you check out OMEX. Make sure you check out Pony as well. DJT is another runner. We're doing it live right now at Trader TV Live. Make sure you go scan us, find us, trade with us. It's Trader TV Live every day.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And someone just asked, where are we getting back into Intel? First, I got to tell you, we left our stop in. They broke down. Didn't quite get the 65 fill after we got the 71 fill. But there's the break of the high. It's got to be 20 or 20 and a half. So whichever one it actually sets up, you're in a pretty strong upward trend. At this point, I'd almost prefer if it just blew out 20, did a ridiculous upward trend, and then we could revert it at 2050. That would just be an easier setup because I think that would be a little bit too far. But if it does go to like 1999 and give me some kind of a curl, we'll take that. Tesla, okay, Tesla's not at 280 yet, but I feel like that's a big yet. And there's been a lot of people, including Luke Andres, asking about SoFi today. I think I'm like 99. Oh, no, never mind. All right, yeah, I was about to tell you guys. No, I was about to tell you guys that I think I got filled in my personal account out of SoFi, but the answer is no. It's not. It's not strong.
Oh, out of SoFi, they were
not out altogether. I just wanted to cover a little bit more in front of 13.4. Like I covered some when I think I got like somewhere in the 16s the last time, but I want to cover a little bit more in front of 13 and a half. It's like 13 and a half, I think I have it at. So maybe we have a chance in SoFi. That just broke the 50 period on the daily. It's churning. Remember, they report next Tuesday, I think. Let's go to the desk with it, Eric.
This came out a couple minutes ago, but just be aware here, META and BAH, so Meta and Booz Allen Hamilton on watch. CNBC reporting that the companies are partnering on a Space Llama AI program with NVIDIA and HPE. So NVDA, HPE, META, and BAH all involved in this Space Llama program as reported by CNBC. Back to you.
Llama, space drama. Yeah, we know. Yeah, Bitcoin is hot fire right now.
I look over Joe.
Can we just clarify the shoes are not available?
Well, they're Neil's.
Okay, so
My shoes.
they're not
Shoes
available.
are not available. They're my shoes. They're my shoes. Oh, shit.
I love the way this guy laughs, man. I can't show my shoes because then I'll be but not today because then I will be canceled.
Why?
Oh, I see.
All right, fuck it, I'll show
Why
you.
is anyone canceling you over this? Oh, that's why. Yeah, I see why. I see what's up.
Kanye.
I know you were reading some of what he said over the weekend, right?
Look, I mean, we talked about mental health has been a problem for a while. This guy said some crazy things. This guy says, like, down, like, yeah, Nazi-related stuff,
But I have
crazy stuff.
nothing-
I don't.
Nothing but sympathy.
These are comfortable-ass shoes, but
No, I agree with
I don't.
I have nothing
yeah,
but sympathy
for sure.
and compassion in my heart for anybody that's dealing with that mental health issue, which I think he obviously is. And so when people are hating, just try to remember.
Right.
You know, like I told you, I had that situation on the train, and then I realized that the dude that was causing the kerfuffle that almost got beat down, that clearly there was like a mental health thing going on. It's like, yeah, he's not just drinking. This is, and then your tone changes and you go to a little bit of compassion. I got to show the chart of Meta. I'm not trading Meta, but that is a couple of big V shapes on Meta. Look at the program buying and the program selling, and then this is program buying on Meta. You want to see continuation after that because ultimately, yeah, you're up 2%, but the opening range top is still very much the opening range top on Meta. Bob is the last one standing for the shorts for me, somehow still in the money. So we'll see if we can get a reload on that. 20 is approaching on Intel, and we're going to the desk.
It's brought to you by our friends at VinFast. VinFast closed 2024 with strong financial and operational performance, signaling big progress on its global EV journey. Q4 revenue reached roughly $678 million US, up 70% year over year and 34% quarter over quarter, reflecting robust demand and improving sales execution. More than 97,000 EVs were delivered in 2024, including over 53,000 in Q4 alone, which is a 192% year-over-year increase, underscoring traction across core and new markets. Progress on global expansion. 322 EV showrooms and 322 e-scooter showrooms now operational worldwide as of March 2025, including both VinFast-owned and dealer-operated locations. Green mobility ecosystem. Continued deployment of V-Green charging infrastructure and growth of GSM electric ride-hailing services in key Asian markets to drive long-term EV adoption. Thank you to our friends at VinFast. And also, here is the US dollar, which is continuing to push a little bit lower. As mentioned, we had a little bit of a double bottom support earlier this week, just below that 98,000 level. But can we hold on to it? We have made some lower highs here since that green day on Wednesday. Yesterday was red. We actually closed basically at lows. Today, making another lower high and pushing a little bit lower, though we're still green on the day. That 100 level, as you might expect, could prove to be a little bit of resistance. Here is the CME FedWatch tool. 93.2% of participants expecting there's not going to be a rate change in May. That is actually a little bit up from yesterday, but earlier, at one point yesterday as well, we did have about 96% of participants expecting no change. So right now, trying to stabilize here around that 90% level. At 6.8% though, right now expecting there will be a little bit of a cut. Again, we did have actually better than expected Michigan sentiment data, stronger than expected sentiment data, and actually weaker than expected one-year inflation expectations. A good look here for these Fed readings, but oddly enough, 58.1% of participants now expecting now expecting one cut in June as well. That's lower than what we've seen for the most part, which is roughly 60%. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens here. But interestingly enough, less participants now are expecting we will get that June cut. Back to you.
Thank you, Ms. Adara. So, yeah, I mean, it looks like we will get that cut. I mean, the cut's going to be good for the market, I would think, right now, and maybe not, right? Sometimes what's good is not good anymore. But, all right, so we're just, I have the same thoughts, which is why I didn't talk about Intel, because Neil just talked about it, and I don't want to be on all the same names. But we just, that's Big Bear. Okay, well, first of all, that's Intel, but here's Big Bear AI. Congratulations. We talked about this earlier on in the morning with Big Bear AI. That base around 250 was a good one. We're still in this. I think our average price is around $4, but I will double check this. We had bought it on the way down in off this 50-period moving average, sort of, thinking that maybe we could hold there. Then we bought again somewhere. So I'm going to double check the price before I mention what it is, because I don't want to be wrong on that one. And then other than that, man, everything else is pretty cool right now for us as we're calm and relaxed. I know Neil's going to do something, but I just want to say my out is similar, just above $20 there on Intel, because I know some people were asking, and we just get another small reload rate here. We have about half the shares we did have originally. Obviously, we cannot go red on Intel, but that's my look there on INTC.
Yes, sir. And if you're looking for unbeatable odds on the biggest games, and switch to ProfitX's peer-to-peer platform, where you set the price. No more one-size-fits-all lines. It's like crafting your own picking strategy with real-time trading tools. Secure the best odds, track the action, and watch your plays come alive.
Bye-bye, Intel.
Experience total control, bye-bye Intel, at every step. ProfitX Sports Playing Reimagined. Users can use the code TraderTV to get the sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300. Shout out to ProfitX. I happen to have it up right now. If you like the Lakers tonight, boo. You can take.
Yeah, Raheem told me the Lakers were last night. Raheem.
Yeah, it's they're tonight.
Yeah, they're tonight.
Boston doing some good things without Tatum as well. I was a little surprised by that, but yeah, down.
Yeah, you got to get to the second round
down with
first.
LeBron.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a LeBron hater. I just
don't like that. There's something fishy about that whole Luka deal. That's all. And I just feel so bad for Dallas.
I just like Ant. I want him to win.
Yeah, I like that guy too. I would love for someone different. I would love OKC to win.
OKC all the way.
That's for sure. So we just got stopped out of Intel, but again, it's my most positive stock today, Intel. So, we're happy how we traded it. We nailed it early. We thought there was going to be a flush out moment, and that's exactly what happened right off the jump. We're able to get out. I mean, we have the low of the day in our account. So I think that I traded it pretty well. Could always trade things better. I mean, whenever your last trade is a hit, we were short at 98 there, reload out at 03. So a 5-cent hit to end the day and end the game there on Intel. But still, pretty good day for them as well. So not a good day for their report, but the fact that it hasn't really been getting crushed, I feel like that's a win for Intel. Uber got up. Wow, I did not even realize this. It's hitting some of the scanners right now, but Uber makes that move today back through $80. Like, wow, 65 to 80, nice upside move. So it looks like Uber and your boy Tesla can win at the same time because it's happening right now. Uber, nice move up, right back to some of those highs again. Like, we're almost back. Like when we were up here, you're like, oh, like I was sort of like, oh man, that $80 right there, 82, looked like another top, and we got there, and then we got tariff centraled to the downside there, and that started actually in mid-February was that high. Now you're gonna have to wait 2 months, March, April, to get all the way back up there, which isn't that long. So good job there for Uber as it continues to make that climb back into $82. So just like you had mentioned, maybe getting something out on SoFi. It might be, I'm still going to hold Uber, but that would be a good level there for sure. And SoFi, like Robinhood, like all of these names, just continue to have great movement. Remind me what the day was? 6th?
It's next week.
I think it's earnings on
SoFi is the end of the, no, SoFi?
I thought you said the 6th.
SoFi, no, SoFi is next week, end of the month. I think it might be the 29th. I'd have to look it up there.
Well, you're going to check it out right now. It is Tuesday, April the 29th, before market.
Oh, yeah, before market. Yeah, they're one of those. I have a strong preference to aftermarket earnings. It's just, I don't think there's a trader out there. The aftermarket show was so much more fun. Join me today with Dara for the aftermarket recap show. But it's just more fun to be able to digest the prices, see it real time, not have to prepare for your trading day while you're also getting earnings coming through and then getting less calm price action. Bitcoin is chilling 95.7,
my boy.
54.5 on IBIT. Like, you're just absolutely breaking out on IBIT. MSTR, we only have 3 minutes to go here. MSTR, a little bit of a topping tails is trying to break the high, but I keep looking over. It's not to pick on Mara, but you tell me, everybody.
Down Google.
Something going on here when Bitcoin's breaking out and Mara can't seem to get past like 1430, like they're selling at the high the entire way. Well, at some point, I guess you got to respect it. We're either breaking this top or I'm shorting 14.3. So 14.3 to 14.35, and if Bitcoin keeps going, you eventually break out the top. But somebody's selling this thing despite Bitcoin being strong, so why not join the party? If the shorts have been working on something, that's where you should be.
All right, what up, Hamster? You nailed it. It is about that time. Look at Google right now, 250 in the money. We did not get the reload, but it's time to discuss what's for lunch. All right. Okay, props up. Today we got a little something different, Neil. We haven't had this in a minute. It's chicken again. No, Joe, come on, man. Don't steal my you know what I'm saying?
Assorted sandwiches. No,
I wish. I mean, I actually think assorted sandwiches would be good. But today, we're swimming with the fishes, baby. It's lemon dill salmon. I mean, we haven't had that in a minute. We'll give it a shot with roasted vegetable. People are liking it. Brendan's not here, so let's just always remember. There he is. What's up, Brendo? Roasted vegetable quinoa pilaf.
Huh?
Exactly. Seasoned roasted vegetable quinoa pilaf. Like a mixture there.
What the hell
Vegetables
is
with
even
quinoa.
that?
It's like a salad mix. Come on, guys. Get cultured, bros. Seasoned vegetables along with chef choice salad.
Fabian, can you hit it?
What
the hell is even that?
Oh, we have that button?
Yeah, we have a lot of things around this place. Oh man. Yeah, but don't put the fish in the microwave. You're gonna smell up the whole place. But it's gonna come nice and fresh, and then hopefully.
Before used to do that.
I actually wouldn't mind if there was a piece of salmon on the salad too.
I love salmon.
It's been a minute,
Gotta be
so we're hoping
careful.
for that one
You don't
to come through again. So that is
what's for lunch.
what's for lunch.
Joe's very excited by it. You know what there isn't, Joe? There's no chocolate chip cookies and there's no apple pie. That's what there's none of.
I don't have a problem with this man not having pie. Like, I just have a problem with him never having pie. I've never have had
That's
pie.
the whole point.
Like,
You know what?
exactly.
No,
There's
we need to bring this man
questioning the
an
integrity.
apple pie for the show. At some point, we should just do it.
Can you? I'd love to talk to Grandma. I love to talk to Grandma
Let's talk
Joe.
to your grandma.
I like to talk to.
That'd be fun.
I'd be like, hi, this is Sean. She'd be like, who the hell's this? You know, your grandson. The thing is, it might sound like a scam. You know, like, because right now there's that. She does. Oh, hi, Grandma. We're loving that. Please feed your grandson a nice piece of pie. I mean, I know you can make legitimate pie. All grandmas crush pies. Like my grandmother, the rhubarb strawberry pie that she throws down is ridiculous.
Okay, in defense, my grandma she makes rum cake. She made rum cake. Rest in peace.
Joe's definitely
She
had
never made
cake.
a pie she never made a pie in her life.
She's made pie in her life. Get her on if she's still around.
No,
Get her
she's
on.
not, but
okay, then don't get her on.
No,
Get your
she
mom
never
on.
would. My moms will make a pie.
But I want her to tell me that her mom's made a pie.
Oh, okay, no, it's my dad's mom.
Oh, your dad's mom.
So,
get your dad on the phone. Let's go. Move with Phil at.
Look, I'm telling you.
Hello, Phil?
His name is Phil too.
No, but pie is just so universal. That's why I'm saying.
And the best part about it, no, he knows that. So Phil's my dad's middle name, but that's what he goes by, and he knows that. So, but I say George and I say Debs for Sean's mom.
Yeah,
because everyone says Debs.
Love it.
Yeah, everyone.
Hi,
does.
Debs.
Your mom's name's Deborah?
Debs
Yeah.
is so nice,
My
man.
grandma's name
Trust
is
me.
Deborah.
Boom!
That's a great.
Joe's grandma's name is also Deborah.
Yeah, let's go.
Bang.
Debs would always make sure that we got fed. You always got fed when you went to Sean's house, straight up. The fridge was open. You could eat whatever you wanted. It was great. Just don't piss off George, and you were good to go. No, you just don't get George.
Yeah, I'm good.
George was here just a couple weeks
George,
ago.
we're chill now. But
He's
when
from
we're
the same. They're from the same. He's from the same town as Patty Ice.
Oh,
Shout out to Patty Ice.
okay.
And by the way, Patty Ice, those tomato plants are doing well. We've got them. We're watering those. We're getting ready to.
We love
plant
you,
those.
Patty.
All right. Yes, we do love Patty Ice.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you so much for a great show. The two handsome gentlemen right there below us. Neil, you got to do that. You got to. There you go. Yeah, there we go. Down below us, right there. They're coming, and they're coming right now. So great job today, Neil. Great job to everybody. Thanks, Ramin and company, Fabian, Adara, everybody. It's Trader TV Live, and it's about to get a lot better. It's midday time. Ciao.
I'm tired, man. And I have a headache.